Ku Jian Wushuang's current universe is said to be a rudimentary form, but the origin is stronger than the wolf-greedy origin universe. Even those who were watching this battle were boiling over. Seeing Jian Wushuang's thought of the universe, I thought of the prototype of the universe built by the flame gods. But the prototype universe of the flame gods cannot be accommodated. Jian Wushuang, an emperor, could actually accommodate the universe. Although it's just a rudimentary form, it's scary enough. Building the rudimentary universe is nothing to Jian Wushuang. The strong who watched the battle also thought Jian Wushuang had that ability. But being able to accommodate the universe is a bit outrageous. Many people have already begun to look at Jian Wushuang. Accept the universe? How did you do it? This is a big problem. If there is a method, it is enough to change the current situation. Yu Guo's son-in-law? Interesting. After the sacred meeting is over, be sure to draw this child together and ask about ways to accommodate the universe. The robbers, without the universe, have no much interest in accepting the universe. But those masters of the Six Tribulations realm universe need this kind of method. If you can accommodate the universe and explore the mystery of time and space, you can also bring the original universe, and your combat power will be raised to a level. The Six Tribulations realm will be able to go to the secret realms where the Seven Tribulations realm powerhouse breaks. The treasures and upgrades obtained have changed qualitatively. Connecting He Jianxian is tempted. He and Jian Wushuang still have some friendship, but this friendship is far worse than that of accepting universe. Even if it's a real dad, you have to ask. Infinite world. Jian Wushuang took a few breaths, used tens of thousands of times to shake the universe, and left the mountain directly. Completely reached the infinite world. At this moment, he didn't know that he had caused a great shock after he exerted a thought on the universe, otherwise he would definitely not be exposed at this time. This is also Kuei Lang's good luck. Jian Wushuang can also behead the opponent if he can only fight without fleeing. Once the general armor is used, he can use 5 times the power of the beast god, and his divine power can be increased to 650,000. Coupled with the 700,000 supernatural power in the jade pot of the ancient temple. Strangling Kuei Lang is too simple. After receiving a thought of the universe, he just came out of the mountain range when he happened to meet the Li family patriarch sent by the empress. Wu Li is also here. Elder Mu Chen had already gone to the assembly place to recuperate because of the serious injury. Jian Wushuang, you really escaped. The Li family patriarch was a little surprised. He knows the secrets of the Sirius tribe very well, calm because his Taoist companion is the sage of the Sirius tribe. According to his seniority, Kuei Lang would call him a godfather. It's a pity that this unfilial son doesn't even recognize his mother. If Jian Wushuang knew that the other party had this relationship with Kuei Lang, he would probably swear. The juniors have some opinions on speed, and most people can't catch up. Jian Wushuang said modestly. To put it nicely, there are some achievements in speed. The uglier point is to escape quickly. The patriarch of the Li family exclaimed, the Wushuang nephew is humble, and the speed is also a great power. This time you can fight against the 2 Four Tribulations universe masters. After you go out, you will definitely be famous. Many 7 tribulations are great. Those who are able are still watching. This is true. But Jian Wushuang didn't care about it. Chapter 58:11. This time, after he goes out, it is normal that all parties will hunt down and kill him. Okay, let's go. Many teams have already set out to enter the infinite world. We are the slowest group. Jian Wushuang nodded, keeping up with the opponent's speed, and moving towards the assembly point with all his strength. In any case, they are not the slowest. There are strong men from the Sirius clan waiting for them. But after reaching the assembly point, Jian Wushuang knew that the powerhouse of the Sirius tribe had already set off. In other words, the people in the Sirius secret realm took the initiative to give up Kuei Lang and Greed Wolf. It is estimated that Greedy Wolf sent the news back to the clan. The strongest combat power in the Four Tribulations realm has been abolished, and there is no need to wait any longer. Although the Greedy Wolf is still there. But using the talent secret method, it will not recover for a while. Can only be discarded. These abandoned strong will be judged as a failure and will be sent away. Assemble the camp. It's just a small town temporarily built around an ancient teleportation formation. There are not many strong players at this time. Jian Wushuang followed the Li family patriarch into a compound, and the empress had been waiting for a long time. Elder Mu Chen also returned to his peak state. Now that everyone is here, let's go. The empress has already seen the advance map of the Arctic ice sheet. This time, what she waited for was valuable. Even if it is behind other teams now, latecomers can still catch up. Jian Wushuang just took a breath, and once again followed the empress in the teleportation formation, truly entering the periphery of the infinite world. Only this time, the empress took the seat herself. No need for him to fight against the banner. Their luck was also better, and they were transported to an ancient river. Although there are many wild animals in Hanoi, fortunately, this place is not an ancient relic. There is not much hindrance. Even if it encounters a desolate beast with a supernatural power of 500,000, the female emperor can kill it at will. Almost equal to air. The female emperor even took out an ancient ship. Everyone was riding on the ancient ship. For 100 days, the line has reached the depths of the periphery. At this speed, I am afraid it can be ranked in the top 3. After walking for a while, they will be able to reach the inner circumference of the infinite world. That is, the most central location. Jian Wushuang was also recovering the loss of life force in these days. Finally took a breath. Very comfortable sitting on the deck and drinking tea. The 4 Tribulation Realm powerhouses take turns to monitor the surroundings. The Lord of the 3 Tribulations Realm will also patrol the ancient ship. Only the Emperor is the easiest. The 4 emperors had almost nothing to do, except for Jian Wushuang. They were resting in the cabin. At this moment, there is no mood for cultivation. Not only are they on their way, they are still waiting for news. The assessment of the congregation is not just as simple as passing the infinite world. They have to accept many tasks. After completing the task, you will get some special treasures, which can only be used by the candidate saint. Once the candidates for the 4 saints are selected, then the special treasures obtained by other teams are useless. At this time, the candidates of the 4 saints will spare no room to buy these special treasures. It can also be considered to make up for the teams that were not selected. This is also a big receipt. But after so long, the Guma faction has not assigned them a task. I don't know if it was their bad luck, they didn't get it, or other reasons. But even so, they also have a lead. With the advance map, the upper points marked the route of the treasure house, and many treasures can also be obtained. Therefore, the Empress has not been anxious about the task, but just rushes. Enter the Arctic ice sheet early. Where is the place to fight? On the deck. The Empress stood at the bow of the ship. After the elder Mu Chen made a round of inspections, he went to report the situation on both sides of the ancient river to the Empress, and then retreated. Wushuang nephew, it's better for you to relax. Mu Chen came to the table and was not polite. He just sat down and poured tea by himself. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, "Where is there any easy time? The last war left a lot of hidden dangers, and now it has just recovered to its peak. That's right, I have to thank you last time. If it weren't for you, I might have fallen." Elder Mu Chen picked up the teacup and drank a cup of tea instead of wine with Jian Wushuang. The two had just chatted a few words, but the ancient ship began to shake. Elder Mu Chen's complexion instantly pulled down. That flood dragon, how come back suddenly? After Elder Mu Chen felt the breath, his complexion changed drastically. Jian Wushuang said in amazement, "Jiaolong? Is there a flood dragon in this river?" He doesn't know anything. Elder Mu Chen also discovered the Jiaolong when he was patrolling the 2 banks of the ancient river. However, according to his calculation, the flood dragon should have gone ashore to lay dragon eggs. Why did you come back suddenly? Being able to make Elder Mu Chen so surprised. From the bottom of his heart, Jian Wushuang deduced from that breath that it was at least the combat power of the 5 Tribulations realm. Divine power is no less than 600,000. This bit of combat power, for the Empress, shouldn't be a big deal. And he saw that the Empress was still standing at the bow of the ship so calmly, there shouldn't be a big problem. Jian Wushuang stood up, looked down at the turbulent lake, but also wanted to see how powerful the flood dragon was. At this moment, Wu Li rushed out of the cabin, and when Jian Wushuang was still looking down at the river, he quickly transmitted his voice. "Be careful, your majesty's deity is not on the ancient ship. The dragon is a big trouble." "What?" Jian Wushuang looked at the back of the empress with an incredible expression. Then he looked at Wu Li again, shocked at first, and then there were some strange colors in his eyes. The deity of the empress is not in the ancient ship. In other words, the empress standing at the bow of the ship is just a clone. But he didn't know from beginning to end. He didn't even know Wu Li actually knew. This is very strange. But now is not the time to think about this. It is important to protect yourself first. Patriarchally, you first stabilize the ancient ship, and the rest will enter the cabin. Elder Mu Chen, regardless of the female emperor's clone, began to order everyone. Patriarchally, who also understood at this time, screamed inwardly, but he still complied. Now that everyone is in the same boat, the empress did not say a word, and the deity left without saying a word in advance. It's really unreasonable. And it seemed that there was only one master of the universe in the Four Tribulations realm. The rest of the people went out with the empress. Jian Wushuang followed Wu Li directly into the cabin, not caring about outside matters. The sky is falling, and the tall man is holding it. This time, he would not rush forward stupidly. After entering the cabin, Jian Wushuang dared to transmit a voice to Wu Li. "From the other side, I learned the whereabouts of the empress. Steal the dragon egg." "Special mission?" Jian Wushuang said carefully. Wu Li nodded. "Whose task?" 9 tigers. Chapter 58:12. Hearing this name, Jian Wushuang could understand why Wu Li would know that the empress left a clone. The luck of their previous team was too bad. First, Jinchen received a special task. Then there was 9 tigers again. This time the qualification token sent by the royal family is really a blood gain. The mission of a few stars actually made your majesty's deity dispatch, and also brought several Four Tribulations realm powerhouses. Jian Wushuang asked curiously. Wu Li shook his head. He really didn't know this. However, the empress would have to take so many people to go. I'm afraid it would be a special mission of at least 4 stars. Before Jihu left, he only told him about this matter, and didn't say anything else. At this critical time, Wu Li didn't dare to ask too much. It seems that this time is firmly in the top 4. Wu Li smiled slightly and nodded. The female emperor was able to enter the top 4, and the 2 of them were the happiest. In this way, he will be able to approach Wan Lu Shinmu. Wait first. Everyone in the cabin still didn't know what had happened, but there was a huge wave on the Furukawa River. The dragon egg was stolen. No wonder the dragon was so angry. This is just the beginning. They can only pin their hopes on the empress. Originally, Jian Wushuang felt that the flood dragon had only 600,000 supernatural powers. At present, it seems that he underestimated this dragon. Just finished laying eggs, can still be so strong. I am afraid that at the peak period he has already had a half-step battle strength in the 6 Tribulations realm. Even when the female emperor went to steal the dragon egg, she would have to take a few 4 Tribulations realm powerhouses. Obviously, she didn't have much confidence. Boom. The ancient ship shook again. There seemed to be something at the bottom of the ancient ship. The entire ancient ship almost capsized. The head of the Li family who maintained the ancient ship looked embarrassed. He can't hold it anymore. The dragon burned its essence and blood and was about to destroy the ancient ship. A few more collisions will cause the ancient ship to fall apart. Without the support of the ancient ship, he would have to flee for his life by then, let alone other people. The female emperor was too late to return, so he could only tell Wu Li through a voice message that it would not last long, and he was ready to flee at any time. Your Majesty, you have to hurry up. Elder Mu Qin gritted his teeth, preparing to make the final decision. Jian Wushuang leaned his back against the wall, looking at the painful look of Elder Dao Mukin, a little strange in his heart. If the ancient boat can't hold it, just run away separately. No need to entangle. The master of the 3 Tribulations realm universe in the cabin was originally cannon fodder, and his only role was to try his luck as a tool man to take on tasks. Even if it fell, Elder Muchen didn't need to be so entangled. Only a few of these masters of the universe are members of the royal family. More of the ancestors of those family powers. Once you fall, not only will you be over, but the family will also be over. Originally, it is to seek wealth, but no one can blame others. Taoist Wushuang, let's run away together in a while, so there may be a response. Wu Li calmly transmitted to Jian Wushuang at this time. He is the one who can see most clearly. I know it won't last long, and the Empress won't be able to come back for a while. That Jialong's lair is actually not far from here. With the speed of the Empress, he was able to rush back soon. As for why not come back to rescue them, I'm afraid it's because of the task that I can't come back. In other words, this dragon was deliberately released by the Empress and the others, in order to complete the task, sacrifice them to lead away the dragon. That's why Elder Mu Chen's complexion was so embarrassing. But in order for Vietnam to be able to take another step, at this time, they can only be sacrificed. Escape. Jian Wu's double-faced movement made him feel the ancient ship falling apart. First, the sound was transmitted to Wu Li, and then with one claw, the Princess Jin Chen was directly pulled over. But when he pulled it over, he realized that the other party was also a clone. Jian Wushuang cursed secretly, ignoring the others, and broke open the cabin, looked up and then rushed towards the huge wave ahead. Wu Li also followed behind him. Wait for the old man. Elder Muchen knew that Jian Wushuang's strength was extraordinary, perhaps even stronger than the Li family's patriarch, so he planned to flee with Jian Wushuang for the first time. But other people don't have any direction. Scattered around, I didn't know where to escape. Seeing that there was no hope, the patriarch of the Li family led a strong man in the clan and rushed towards Jian Wushuang. At this moment, they can only face the huge waves and flee forward. Jian Wushuang took the lead and plunged into the huge waves. There was already a thunderstorm in the sky, and there was no way to go. Can only start from the river low. But the dragon is also at the bottom of the river. After the ancient ship burst and broke apart, many of the masters of the universe, before they fled in all directions, were chopped into blue smoke by the thunderstorm field cast by the dragon. More than 20 masters of the universe, most of them died at once. Especially the other two emperors died tragically. No one is going to save it. The key cannot be saved. Jian Wushuang took the lead to escape and sneaked into the bottom of Guha with Jin Chen. Because the response was relatively timely, he was not attacked by that dragon. Behind him, Wu Li and Elder Mu Chen ran faster than Patriarch Li. None of them are fools. Knowing the power of them, anyone who dares to fight hard at this time will be fatal. The Empress can still fight. Even if there are several Four Tribulations Realm Cosmos Masters joining forces, there is a possibility of a battle. However, it is not enough to have only one Li family patriarch who is unwilling to contribute. Jian Wushuang could see which Li family patriarch was very vigorous, and his divine power was not low, and he could still maintain the ancient ship if he really had to work hard. But as the head of the family, the opponent is not fighting alone. If he falls, the Li family will be abolished. The so-called top 10 families in Vietnam are actually very weak. Like the Li family, although the master of the universe had been out of the Six Tribulations realm, that ancestor had already fallen, and now there are only 2 Five Tribulations scattered within the family. As the strongest combat power in the family, how dare he go desperately? There are other clan chiefs who have already fallen, and their clan will also fall. It is impossible to maintain a clan by looting the strong. Jian Wushuang naturally knew this, and he didn't complain about anyone in his heart. I just feel that what the Empress did this time is a bit too much. To complete special tasks, no problem. It's okay if you don't tell them why. For confidentiality, calm for security. Can understand. But what's going on to bring Jialong here? Tune the tiger away from the mountain? Reluctant to bear children? Can't catch wolves? This is really cheating one's own child. Princess Jinchen is still on the ancient ship. At this time, following Jian Wushuang, he was still confused, not knowing what happened. Can only follow Jian Wushuang to escape without a clue. Family? Jian Wushuang shook his head, And what was even more ridiculous was the so-called glory. The glory of the family is tied to your strength. You have no strength. In the strongest family, you are also an ant, and you may be given up at any time. It is better to fight alone without worry. Chapter 58:13. Only in this way can we become the strongest. No wonder the Lord Yunji has become the master of the universe of the 7 tribulations, and the female emperor is still the lord of the 5 tribulations. This is the pattern. Before becoming the lord of the universe of the 7 tribulations realm, or after becoming the lord of the universe of the 7 tribulations realm, the Lord Yunji did not intervene in the affairs of the daughter kingdom. It's all about practicing by one person, and the position of the country's lord is a decoration. She doesn't care about power or reputation. Practicing with one heart. In exchange for such an achievement, there is also the master of the 7 tribulations realm universe from the Gumu sect. Even such a big event as the holy meeting did not show up. It has been running around in Outland, very low-key. Which head teacher is very high profile, because it is just a robbery, there is no room for improvement, only the pursuit of power is left. However, he also met Bobby D, and now he is a puppet. It's ridiculous. There is no shortcut to becoming stronger. Jian Wushuang always felt that way. If you want to be strong, you must be absolutely strong and work hard. If you don't work hard, just think of some crooked ideas, and you will have to return it sooner or later. Looking down at the confused Jinchen, he suddenly felt that the other party was very pitiful. Although he has a solid background, he does not have his own freedom. Forced to marry someone who doesn't like it. Now he is still used as a by his mother. Mu Chen, a big idiot, also deliberately kept the word from him. This is where Jian Wushuang is most angry. So when he ran away, he didn't pay attention to each other. This kind of life-related matter should be notified in advance. Now fled without a clue. I don't know where to go. The bottom of this ancient river is just like a continent. There are countless ethnic groups. Wild beasts are rampant. The sky is blocked by thunderstorms. They sneak into the bottom of the river. They will also encounter the same powerful beast. He can only restrain his breath and dive continuously. Where are we going? Jinchen looked around at the beautiful scene of the river bottom. The more beautiful things are, the hidden ones are often dangerous. Jian Wushuang pulled Jinchen behind him and said loudly, "Be careful." A red tentacle sprang out from the water plants, and there was a certain toxin on the top. If the emperor was infected, he would die instantly. The sharp tentacles pierced towards Jian Wushuang's chest. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily, raised the arm of the candle dragon, and directly threw away the attack of the tentacle with one hand. Pulling Jinchen, instead of going deep into the bottom of the river, he began to flee towards the chaotic world ahead. Now is not the time to stop. The flood dragon will catch up at any time. There are other desolate beasts here. Once they fight against each other, they will be dragged. He took Jinchen while running away, and did not forget to remind Wu Li. The tentacle that I just encountered is definitely a desolate beast of the 4 tribulations realm level. Wu Li can't die. As for the life and death of Elder Mu Chen and others, he couldn't control it. When Wu Li heard the transmission, he was startled, and his speed increased again. The danger of this congregation exceeded his expectations. Originally thought that his strength could be ranked in the middle no matter what, life-saving was not a problem. As a result, when he came to the infinite world, whether it was the special life he encountered at the beginning, or the powerhouse of the Sirius tribe, he was not an opponent. Almost exposed his whole cards several times. His trump card is different from Jian Wushuang. Once exposed, I am afraid that the outsiders will be unable to sit still, and the Guma faction will make an exception and enter the infinite world to hunt him down. Therefore, it cannot be used when it is not a last resort. Now he only needs to follow Jian Wushuang. He still recognizes Jian Wushuang's strength. Apart from the female emperor, Jian Wushuang's strength is definitely the strongest. Even more powerful than the Lord of the 4 Tribulations realm universe. This is what the mysterious person in his body told him: as long as you follow Jian Wushuang, you have the hope of saving your life. After looking for Jian Wushuang, he didn't care about anything else, so he just followed. After arriving at the pile of rocks, Jian Wushuang hesitated, but plunged in. These stones are extremely large, and the gaps are not small. After entering, it is more like a maze. The stone should have fallen from the mountains on both sides of the ancient river, and it was indeed able to block a lot of huge beasts at the bottom of the river. He entered with the front foot, and Wu Li followed. Those who were able to escape from behind were all headless flies. Seeing Jian Wushuang entering, they all rushed over. But there are not many people alive. The Li family patriarch, with the remaining 4 masters of the universe, plus Jian Wushuang and others. Only 9 people remained. Suddenly lost half of the manpower. This blow is still quite big. After entering the pile of rocks, Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief. In a natural stalactite cave, he stopped his figure. This is the inside of a boulder. There is no water inside, the surroundings are extremely smooth, and there are still drops of water dripping from the upper part. Jian Wushuang just stood firm. The water inside the boulder was broken open one after another, and several figures rushed in. Although he runs fast, the people behind are not slow. Because Jian Wushuang still wanted to escape in that direction, the people behind would just follow him, and he didn't need to use his brain. Now it seems that it is indeed the right person. When I ran here, I shouldn't encounter that dragon. A pile of rocks is not a pile of ordinary rocks. It's more like countless mountains piled up together. It wasn't that easy for the dragon to break open. Brother Muchen, you should explain, what's the matter? The patriarch of the Li family stared at Muchen with a gloomy expression. If it weren't for the special place, he could be watched by outsiders, he would look like killed Muchen. Although the Li patriarch is angry, his emotions can still control the Lord. After all this time, none of them died. His people were brought out by him. But the luck of other strong people is not so good. The third family of the Yu Kingdom, although there is no master of the universe of the 4-horizon realm, there are 4 masters of the universe of the 3-horizon realm. This time the holy meeting, 3 of the 4 kings of the family came. The result just fell 2 people. The second son of the Jiang family, Jianzhen, was furious at this time. Muchen, do you know that this time my eldest brother and the 4th brother were killed? Why didn't you die? Directly rushing forward, pulled Elder Muchen by the collar, his eyes could kill. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang sneered in his heart and didn't mean to step forward to help. This is what Muchen deserves. Don't say it earlier. Having said that, so many people will not die. Speak earlier, if we run away together, at least a few will die. It's fine now, it's half dead at once. The remaining people can only live in this stalactite cave. Jianzhen, don't forget the promise. You came to the holy meeting to assist your majesty. You thought you would kill the family. Muchen was still stubborn and pushed aside Jiangzhen. In fact, he himself felt that the empress did a little too much this time. It chilled everyone's hearts. Chapter 58:14. Since ancient times, emperors are the most ruthless. In the eyes of the empress, it is best if the family power is dead and clean. Only then will the imperial power be stable. But after all, Muchen was just an idle prince, and he was still the elder of the 7-star sect. His heart hadn't become that ruthless yet. The surface is hard, and the bottom of my heart is also a bit sad. Brother Li Sheng, this is the end of the matter. It is not a matter of decision-making. I didn't expect that the dragon would suddenly attack the ancient ship. His Majesty didn't tell everyone before he left. There is also a hidden secret. Elder Muchen reluctantly explained. But the Li family patriarch could not be so foolish, and he replied coldly, after so many people have died, this is the end of your frivolity? At this time, the master of the 3 tribulations realm universe at Qinyun Gate was not standing on Muchen's side. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang also pulled Jin Qin to move his position. Wu Li had been hiding far away, not going to pick up Li Muchen. For a time, Muchen was isolated by everyone. Although there is no way to shoot directly. But they can't always hide here. When they go out and continue to escape, someone will have to lead the way. Some threats also need someone to resist. Muchen's hard-mouthed energy was gone, and he sighed. Everyone haven't entered the inner circle yet, we can't fight inwardly. Muchen, We don't make it difficult for you. Since it is your Majesty's intention, then you will take us to find your Majesty, meet with your Majesty, and then continue on the road. What do you think? Li Sheng spread his hands and seemed to say something. When it was opened, it actually made things difficult for Mu Chen. Go to the Empress? Where can I find it? Mu Chen obviously didn't know. Dear friends, what was our original intention? Mu Chen began to open the topic and then said, we are for the glory of the country. Your Majesty's action is extremely critical. What we have to do at this time is to support the benefits of being a saint. I am afraid I don't need to say more about it. When Jiang Zhen on the side heard it, he couldn't help but sneered. The advantage of what you said is that your royal family will take it first. I won't say much about it, but you can let us back it up. What's the explanation? Opportunity, you always have to sacrifice a few people. You are not alive and well, since you are still alive, then you have to continue to fight. Mu Chen wanted to vaguely pass, but the words rushed. The more he said it, the more outrageous he said. The corners of his eyes throbbed and he cursed, then why don't you die? Seeing that everyone was too arguing, Princess Jean Chen stood up. Seniors, can you listen to me? Jean Chen had Poland in his eyes, staring at everyone. Jian Wushuang wanted to stop, but couldn't stop it. She came out and mixed up in this way, it would only make people hostile. It's better not to say. This matter was originally Mu Chen's problem. It's better to let Mu Chen stand alone. As long as the Empress returns, all problems will become no problems. Do these people dare to question the Empress? Now Jean Chen stood up, and when he got mixed up, everyone's eyes were on her. Don't you say that I have forgotten both of you. Jiang Zhen turned his head to look at Jian Wushuang, and did not respond to Jean Chen. Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart, causing trouble. If he hadn't known Jean Chen's character, he would probably wonder if this fool was trying to calculate him. Jiang Zhen pointed to Jian Wushuang and said, when you first fled, you were the only one who ran the fastest, and you came directly to this pile of rocks. You should have known this in advance, right? As soon as this remark came out, Li Sheng also looked over. Mu Chen shut up at this time and was dead, not talking. Uncle Jiang, I don't even know about the attack, don't tell me. Jean Chen was interrupted by Jiang Zhen before he finished speaking. Jiang Zhen shouted, you little girl, you don't have the qualifications to speak here. I won't give me an explanation today. Don't blame me for turning my face and not acknowledging people. He didn't dare to attack Mu Chen, he still didn't dare to attack Jian Wushuang? Today, if they didn't do something, wouldn't they really become cannon fodder? Later, let the royal family oppress. Enough. Jian Wushuang saw that the fire was about to burn himself, so he could only stand up and preside over the overall situation. His breath shook, and a dark energy burst out directly. The space here was small, and the divine power burst out for a short time, directly shaking everyone back for a few steps. The red divine power surrounds Jian Wushuang's body, and the mark of the beast on the eyebrows becomes more and more dazzling. If you want to explain, you can ask your Majesty. What is the result of the quarrel now? His voice was extremely strong, and everyone's chest was dull. Jiang Zhen had heard about Jian Wushuang's strength a long time ago, but he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. Now that Jian Wushuang's strength is stronger than Li Sheng, he just swallowed it if he wanted to say it. Seeing that Jiang Zhen was not speaking, Jian Wushuang looked at Li Sheng again, his eyes flickering, and his killing intent rose. Standing in place, Li Sheng felt the threat from Jian Wushuang. He could feel that if there was more nonsense, Jian Wushuang would definitely do it. At the moment, it is still important to save their lives. I originally wanted to use this matter to pursue the matter of the royal family. Now it seems that the female emperor is not there and Jian Wushuang is an emperor, which can also shock them. Okay, since it's all right, then listen to me. Jian Wushuang took the power of the beast god, found a stone at random, sat down and said calmly, the most important thing for us now is to reunite with your Majesty. There are countless desolate beasts in Guanay, and there are many at the Four Tribulations realm level, which is definitely not something we can pass. Mu Chen watched Jian Wushuang, General Li Sheng and General Zhen settled, and raised his throat at this time, and said, Wushuang's sage nephew is right, meeting with your Majesty is a big deal. I know you haven't said where you are going down? Jian Wushuang didn't give the other side a good face this time, and just abandoned him just now. In addition to hiding His Majesty's trace on the ancient ship, even he was deceived. This matter, he hasn't settled the account with the other party yet. Li Sheng and Jiang Zhen found that Jian Wushuang and Mu Chen seemed to be at odds. For a while, they didn't know if they were pretending to be garlic or whether they were real. If it is true, then the truth may be known to Mu Chen alone. I have tried it, there is no way to contact the mother, Jin Chen said anxiously. Hearing this, everyone took a deep breath. Even my daughter could not be reached. How can I find it? Jian Wushuang knew that the Empress must be completing a special task, and it is normal if he can't contact him now. They can only wait here. When the Empress completes the special task, she will definitely come back to look for them. It's just this time, I don't know how long it will take. He had only used a stick of incense to complete the task of the Emperor. If it weren't for the troublesome task, a simple fight might not take a stick of incense. And it's a 5-star mission. Even if the mission that Juhu gets is 4 stars at the cosmic level, it will probably take a long time. In addition, the Empress deliberately led away the dragon. The task is certainly not simple. Chapter 58:15. The time required may be as short as a few days or as long as 100 years. For 100 years, Jian Wushuang could not afford to wait. 100 years in the outside world is not time. But here, how many wild beasts have to be encountered in 100 years? The stalactite cave here is not absolutely safe. In case of an attack by wild beasts, they would have to flee like a headless fly. And the dragon is still staring at them. They may be found at any time. In the past, he felt that facing the 5 tribulations realm could be a battle. But the infinite world. Whether it is the Lord of the universe or these wild beasts. It's not easy. And the whole cards are not only his own. Others have. They're also wild beasts. It is no longer possible to judge the strength of the opponent with normality. Just like Kuei Lang, he thought that the other party had 600,000 yuan in the sky. In the end, at the cost of losing his mind, 680,000 divine powers exploded. This was only a cosmic master in the 4 tribulations realm. Not to mention the Lord of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm. Even the top 5 tribulations realm Cosmos Master has 600,000 guaranteed divine powers, and it can exceed 700,000 in any burst. Just talk about the dragon. Although there is no original universe, the power of blood is extremely powerful, and it is likely to be the descendant of a certain true dragon. Even the Empress was afraid to lead the other party away. Just these few smelly fish and shrimps are really going to be caught by Jiaolong Dingshan. I'm afraid I don't know how to die. This place is still too close to the place where the ancient ship was destroyed. Moreover, the aura of their human race powerhouses is very conspicuous at the bottom of the ancient river. The bottom of the river is full of the aura of wild beasts. No matter how well they hide, they will be discovered. Jian Wushuang was so sure that he could cross the sea without telling the truth, but other people couldn't do it. Rather than just wait and die, they should take the initiative to attack. This is his idea. The super-secret method of changing Tao. Jian Wushuang began to figure it out in his heart. The others don't care, at least they must keep Wu Li, and then Jin Chen. He promised the Lord Yunji to protect her. This time is the opportunity to pay back the favor. Although Wu Li's importance is higher, the other party also has a lot of secrets. He can feel Wu Li's vitality. Since entering the infinite world, he has become more and more prosperous. That power does not belong to him. This is someone else's secret, and he can't ask more, he can only take precautions before they happen. Yin-Yang conversion pill. After a long silence, he said a name. That is a secret method of changing Tao, which exists in the legend of Morwa time and space. He heard from the inheritance of the first true king. His change is also due to the evolution of the 3 kings. It's just that he made a slight improvement and became an eternal change. Now he wants to reverse the change of Tao, transform the yin and yang into a kind of pill. As long as you refine the yin-yang transformation pill, you can allow others to cover up the aura of your own human race. Able to muddle through at the bottom of the river. It's just that he needs some time. It was originally the secret method in the legend of Change Dao, and it would take some time for him to learn it. It is even more necessary to reverse the secret method and become a pill. Follow-up will be refined into a pill. It takes a period of time. It will take 10 days at the earliest. If the Empress replies in 10 days, it is naturally best. Just think he was planning ahead. If it is the Empress, there is still no news. Then refine the conversion pill, and everyone will become a monster. Only in this way can life be saved. Jian Wushuang told the whole story. He doesn't care if these people object or have any opinions. Anyway, he was not prepared to refine it for these people. Conversion Dan? Li Sheng frowned and asked carefully, Wu Shuang Taoist fellow, if this is a conversion, can I switch it back again? Become a monster. This makes many people unacceptable. Jian Wushuang didn't conceal it and directly replied, the possibility is very small, but even if you transform into a monster race, your original universe will not change, maybe your divine power will increase due to this. How sure are you? Li Xing gritted his teeth as if he had made some decisions. Compared with his own life, it doesn't matter if he becomes a monster. Anyway, the strength will not change. Less than 30%. Jian Wushuang stretched out 3 fingers and then said, I still need a lot of materials for wild beasts. It must be ancient wild beasts, the best in the 4 tribulations realm. Dan Feng hadn't figured it out yet, he had already arranged the task of materials first. After hearing the earthquake, he was surprised. Only 30%? This 30% depends on whether the waste beast material is qualified or not. If the material is too bad, there is no hope of 30%. I need time to prepare the pill now. You only have 10 days. If you don't have enough materials, then the catastrophe is over. Jian Wushuang said half-threateningly. Not to blame for his ruthlessness. It is really limited. There is also Mu Qin, a big pit product. If he told him earlier that the Empress had an action, he would be able to prepare in advance. Wu Li also had a problem. The Empress ran away without telling him. Those people who are left behind now can only save themselves. I will think of a way for materials matters. Li Sheng finally compromised. There are 2 descendants of the family behind him. That is the hope of the family. Turning his head and glanced at the 2 younger juniors who were still a little bit behind him, Li Sheng's conversation changed, and then he said, I don't have enough materials and I need other people to cooperate. This is natural, except Princess Jinchen, you choose whatever you want. Jian Wushuang looked very generous, and with a wave of his hand, he gave power to Li Sheng. Li Sheng glanced at the others and finally said, Wu Li, Mu Chen, Jiang Zhen, and this fellow Qinjianmen Taoist, come with me. The remaining 4 people, apart from Jian Wushuang and Jin Qin, are the 2 3-tribulation realm universe masters of the Li family. Hearing that the ancestor did not take them, the 2 younger generations of the Li family, a man and a woman, couldn't help taking a step forward, but they couldn't say what they said. The 2 have been protected too well in the past. There is no danger in the country of you. During the Emperor's period, the Emperor went to the outside world, and there was also the protection of the family's scattered robbers. Now facing absolute suppression, there is no confidence. Both of them have less than 400,000 divine powers, and their life-saving ability at the bottom of the Furukawa River is too weak. If you go out, I'm afraid you won't live for 3 days. Li Sheng turned his head and glanced at the 2 of them. There was a rare gentleness in his eyes, and he said calmly, Don't worry, you are here to protect the Taoist Wushuang, everything will listen to Taoist Wushuang. This sentence is very level. In Jian Wushuang's view, the remaining 2 universe masters are not as good as the shrimp soldiers and crabs at the bottom of the river, and staying behind is also a burden. Originally, I wanted to take advantage of this time to find materials, so that people would have less hands. In this way, he can take these people with him, delay time together, and wait for the Empress. The infinite world is a huge coliseum. Chapter 58:16. It is not only necessary to fight against all forces, but also to fight against the local powerhouses in the infinite world. Those wild beasts, special lives, and even some relics and forbidden areas. All are in great danger. It is in such a world that if they want to be in the forefront, they need to fight. Those who are weak will give up decisively once they encounter danger. Bringing the emperor is to gather the number of people. If you are lucky, you can receive the task. For example, Jin Chen received a 5-star mission. Even if it fell this time, it didn't hurt. Although Jian Wushuang didn't agree with him from the bottom of his heart, he had to accept it in the face of reality. Even he himself acquiesced and even accepted this rule of survival of the fittest. No one wants to be involved. All want to be chic. Well, you'd better kill 3 ancient desolate beasts at the 4 tribulation realm level, or 100 ancient desolate beasts at the 3 tribulation realm level, within 10 days. The materials needed for the conversion pill must be all. Don't even let go of the fur. Jian Wushuang actually didn't know Danfeng himself, but to be on the safe side, he asked them to collect all the materials. When the time comes to refining by himself, he will only use what is used, and it will be fine if he doesn't use it. Anyway, he is not going to kill those wild beasts. Li Xing didn't say much, just nodded. The others took a deep breath, and then jumped into the pool one by one. Jiang Zhen can be regarded as acquainted with the current affairs, and he didn't say much, and honestly followed Li Xing. 5 people set off together. Jian Wushuang sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. Origin Star Sky. Floating in his own universe, it is extremely comfortable. Eternal change. He clenched fists with both hands, and he was constantly inspired. Ah! The powerful starry sky instantly covered his whole body. Strength has also increased several times. Call. The power of the eternal change lies in the power of the stars. Changed road, just an auxiliary role. If you use the power of all things to perform eternal changes, then it is no different from eternal change, and the strength of the increase is limited. The key to the eternal change lies in the power of the stars. What is the key to conversion? After Jian Wushuang accepted the eternal changes and returned to normal, he began to read some secrets about the original changes. It seems leisurely, but it is quite difficult. 10 days is too short. He must be as fast as possible. This place may be discovered at any time. While he was in retreat, there was a battle in the depths of Furukawa. Li Sheng led the people and killed him from the west bank of Furukawa to the east bank. Even hit the shore. This kind of slaughter quickly caused several desolate beasts of the 4 tribulations realm level to come. Originally, according to their plan, it was to quickly kill the beasts of the 100 heads and 3 tribulations realm level. This is actually very simple for them. It's just that he is afraid to provoke the desolate beasts of the ancient 4 tribulations realm. The desolate beasts at the 3 tribulations realm level at the bottom of the river are actually not very powerful. The divine power is only more than 300,000. Mu Chen and Wu Li can kill them easily. It was more than wrong to deal with these wild beasts by Zhenjin. But that's alone. They are not facing 2 ends. It was a siege of dozens of heads. Although Li Sheng's strength was strong, he couldn't take advantage of dozens of wild beasts. In one day they only killed a dozen of them, and also provoke a few desolate beasts of the 4 tribulations realm level, just when they were ready to give it a go. But thunderstorms appeared above his head. It's Jialong. According to the original plan, they will escape separately. They had expected Jialong a long time ago, but they didn't expect it to be so fast. The 5 fled separately. The dragon's realm had just arrived, and the deity hadn't arrived yet, and they had escaped. But as long as you are in this field, you can't escape the tracking of the dragon. Damn human monkey! The flood dragon descended and took the lead in focusing on Li Sheng, who was the fastest to escape. The huge dragon tail swept directly towards Li Sheng. Fortunately, Li Sheng's speed was fast enough, and he avoided steadily. The dragon's tail hit the rock wall of the river and directly shattered the mountain. Many unlucky wild beasts were instantly annihilated. You can't escape. The dragon transformed into a human form, speeding up, rushing to the nearest Azure Cloud Gate Universe Master, and crushing the opponent's origin with a single claw. A strong person in the 5 tribulations realm, killing a 3 tribulations realm is simply an adult hitting a child. There is no secret method at all, Simple and rude, one-hit kills. It was just like Jian Wushuang used the Sword of Myriad Tribulations to behead the masters of the Three Tribulations realm universe. Feel the fall of your companion. Li Sheng's face is as gray as death, and the rabbit and the fox are sad. It's just that there is no time to feel sorry for him, so he can only take the opportunity and rush out of the realm with supernatural power. Others were not keeping their hands at this time, and burst out with all their strength, rushing out of the field. Jiang Zhen directly burned 30% of his divine power and desperately escaped, but his combat power was also reduced to the lowest. As soon as he rushed out of the domain, he encountered a desolate beast in the Four Tribulations realm. Despair leaked out of his face, and he shouted angrily, "Even if this seat falls, don't die in the hands of you beasts." What? Make a fist with both hands of Zhenjin, and all his supernatural power burns. The whole person turned into a round of sun. Infinite divine power broke out. The desolate beast of the Four Tribulations realm hurriedly backed away, and at the same time yelled, "I haven't done anything yet, what are you in a hurry?" The earthquake also fell. But he didn't expect that he would choose to blow himself up before he died. His death can be regarded as a delay for other people. Mu Chen took the opportunity to go ashore, and his figure disappeared in the jungle of the mountains. Jian Wushuang's plan was too ideal. It may also be that what they think is a bit simpler. In one day, 5 of them. 2 died. Mu Chen went ashore to escape. Wu Li was in the chaos and disappeared. Only Li Sheng dragged his seriously injured body and returned to the pile of rocks. Puff! Li Sheng spit out blood just as soon as it surfaced. The whole person lay directly on the ground in a beach. Jin Chen was taken aback and quickly stood up. The 2 Li family's masters of the universe hurriedly stepped forward to check the injuries of their ancestors. Jian Wushuang remained unmoved and continued to explore the pill for conversion. But Wu Li didn't come back, causing him to sink in his heart, and quickly transmitted the voice to the other party, but he couldn't get in touch anymore. Fortunately, I can feel the causal existence of the other party, and I shouldn't die. I had known that he would not let Wu Li go. Things are getting worse now. The holy meeting was more dangerous than he thought. In fact, they didn't need to be so tired. If the female emperor was there, in this ancient river, as long as there were no barren beasts and special beings at the 6 Tribulations realm level, they could almost walk sideways. But the female emperor gave them up midway. Oh! Jian Wushuang sighed, opened his eyes, and took a look at Li Sheng's injury. There was a trace of life force in his palm, and he gave up after thinking about it. He can't save people. If the power of life is discovered by a strong person watching from outside, then it's over. Chapter 58:17. It's just that the powerhouses in the outside world don't have much to look at them anymore. They are all staring at Shirgua's team. On the edge of the infinite world. Because there is no danger, his few battles will be paid attention to. But now all teams have entered the periphery of the infinite world, and even entered the periphery. There have been hundreds of battles at the 5 Tribulations realm level. Not many people care about the defense of an emperor. Not many people pay attention to Jian Wushuang, which does not mean that no one pays attention to other people in Yu. Such as the Empress. This female emperor of the Yu Kingdom is really ruthless. Even her daughter and brother have given up. Many powerful people have been watching the female emperor of the Yu Kingdom. Because it is a popular candidate, naturally there are a lot of concerns. Jian Wushuang also looked a little insignificant under the brilliance of the Empress. The current Empress is indeed very dazzling. In a special secret territory. That was a special task that Jihu received. Special tasks at the cosmic level are extremely dangerous. Even if the Empress is extremely powerful, she must be treated with care. What's more, this time she faced a 5-star mission. Once completed, the top 4 are basically stable this time. Only reach the top 4. Only hope to fight for the position of the last saint. For this position, Empress Fengchen did not know how many epics had been prepared. Seeing that there is a 7 Tribulation Realm Cosmos Lord among her peers, she is only a 5 Tribulation Realm Cosmos Lord. This sense of gap is an unbearable shame in the eyes of a person with particularly strong self-esteem. Not only will she become a saint this time, she will also attack the Six Tribulations realm in one fell swoop under the eyes of countless people. By then, she will be famous throughout the ancient Wood continent. Take the position of Yu country to new heights. This is not only her wish, but also the expectation of the ancestors of the royal family. For many years, there hasn't been a master of the Six Tribulations realm universe in the Yu kingdom. This time it must be grasped. Now it seems that the Empress has indeed grasped it. In that secret realm, she stole the dragon egg first, and then used the dragon egg to induce a special life. That is the core of anything this time. Every special task can almost involve a lot of strong people. Her task is not to kill that special life, but to help the other party to avenge. Help the other party to unify that secret realm. This is more difficult. It's not as simple as killing one or two Five Tribulations realm desolate beasts, but to fight for a period of time in this secret realm. It may be a waste of time, but when the task is completed, she will have to advance the map and become a treasure of the saint. These are worth her effort. It's just that she didn't think about how miserable those abandoned people are now. Li Xing fell asleep. Although there are special treasures, it will take some time to recover. Fortunately, when he came back, he brought dozens of waste beast materials. These materials have satisfied Jian Wushuang's opportunity to practice his hands. Although the pill is not perfect, you can try to practice first. He didn't think about it once. Don't be too anxious. Otherwise, all previous efforts will be lost. Don't be idle, you too, help me out the demon energy in those materials. Jian Wushuang commanded the two remaining masters of the universe. He is really too busy alone. Jin Chen can only find you and hurry up on the sidelines, he can't help me a little bit. Several days passed. He failed several times. The only time he succeeded, the effect of the pill was the opposite of what he thought. It is the pill to transform the desolate beast into the human race. Can only overthrow the past. But the current materials are not enough. Looking at the two remaining masters of the universe, letting them go is to die. This time he had to go in person. You two are waiting here. I will set up an enchantment. Once you touch me, I will receive a message. I will come back as soon as possible. Don't go out. If Wu Li comes back, let him not come in first. Waiting for me at the bottom of the water. After Jian Wushuang gave an explanation, he plunged into the pool. Below the pool, he entered the pile of rocks, and after a round, he came to the depths of the river bottom. Just to be on the safe side. He did not leave too far. Can only hunt some wild beasts around. The dragon should be far away. But he can't be too careless. The speed of that dragon is very fast. Even if it is far away from him, he can be found quickly. It's just that his supernatural power is different from others. It can be completely restrained. In this way, the flood dragon would not be able to spot him. Quickly find the target, because he has the experience of refining the pill, he also knows that the kind of beast is more suitable. Let's take your knife first. Jian Wushuang contracted his breath, turned into a blue air current, and floated towards a weird-looking wild beast in the water and grass in the distance. This desolate beast's divine power is as high as 400,000, and it is about to break through into the Four Tribulations realm. Wisdom is no different from ordinary people. But facing Jian Wushuang, he didn't notice the dangerous aura at all. Jian Wushuang just appeared behind the opponent so quietly. In an instant, his breath soared to 500,000, and he made a knife with one hand and slashed this weird beast into two directly. The origin and divine power of calm weakened instantly. I don't know who made it to death. It's a good end. Jian Wushuang waved his hand and collected the remains of the desolate beast. His figure turned into a flow of air again, looking for the next target. Collecting 10 heads according to his plan is enough. With 10 more barren beasts, he would almost be able to refine the conversion pill. As long as there is a conversion pill, he will leave here with Jin Chen. I just don't know where Wu Li has gone. But as long as the opponent is not dead, he can find him. According to the guidance of cause and effect, the opponent is not too far away from him. As for the missing Mu Chen, he could feel that the other party should be on the bank of the river, but his breath was constantly weakening, and sometimes there was no time. Most likely he was trapped in a ruin. Whether you can live depends on your own good fortune. He didn't plan to save him. This time he pitted them so miserably, even if Mu Chen died, he deserved it. It happened to be dedicated to the country of Yu. In the valley far away from the river bank, Mu Chen really fell into a ruin. Entering here hastily, suddenly can't get out. Moreover, having isolated his own divine power, he couldn't get out at all. Where, he said that every day should not, and the earth is not working. Can only bite the bullet and continue to move forward. Originally, he wanted to try his luck. In case there was no danger in the valley, he would be able to survive the catastrophe safely as long as the Empress returned. But his luck was too bad, and he fell into an ancient ruins, or the ruins of a sect. Get deeper and deeper. Don't continue walking, and not reconciled, want to gamble once. Chapter 58:18. It's just that his luck was too bad, he gambled in the wrong direction again, and strayed into a crack that swallowed people. He fell without even leaving the corpse. The King Mu of Yu Kingdom has since disappeared. The teams from Vietnam also reduced their staff again. At the same time, the number of teams in the outer and inner walls of Infinite World is constantly decreasing. The Lord of the Four Tribulations Realm universe has fallen a lot. The Gumu faction distributed a lot of tasks this time. Many people are sparing no room to fight. Naturally, many people have fallen. Only the Lord of the Universe in the Five Tribulations realm, no one has fallen. There are few dangerous places in the periphery that can threaten the Lord of the Five Tribulations realm universe. As for the desolate beasts of the Six Tribulations realm level, I am afraid that there are no outside, and there may be a few inside, but if you want to encounter them, it is even lower than the chance of becoming a Six Tribulations realm. At the core, there may be a lot of beasts in the Six Tribulations realm. But wherever it is near the end, no one will wander around anymore, only going to the end with all his heart. Their chances are both on the outside and inside. In the core area, the Lord of the Five Tribulations realm will fall accidentally. How dare to stay? Each one is struggling to move forward. There are also many trapped in one place. Just like Jian Wushuang and the others, they are in a dilemma. Deep in the bottom of the river. In a panic of water and grass, countless snakes hovered, but their strength was very low, and their divine power was less than 10,000. But even so weak, as long as it is a barren beast, it can survive at the bottom of the river. In these swimming snakes, there is a stream of air, which is constantly circling. Not fooled, Jian Wushuang sighed and decided to give up. The upper point of the snake is a desolate beast of the Four Tribulations realm level, with a divine power of about 500,000. He originally wanted to attract the other party into his full set, so he used those snakes to attract the other party. As a result, the wild beast didn't care at all. With a frontal attack, he has the ability to kill the barren beast, but it will waste a long time. When that time is found by the flood dragon, it will be difficult to escape. Now he has collected the materials of more than a dozen wild beasts. Almost enough. Ready to return to the rock pile, refine the conversion pill, and then leave this river with Jin Qin as far as possible. That flood dragon, I'm afraid it won't take long before it will stare at the pile of rocks. It's no problem for him to escape by himself, but if he wants to take Jin Qin, it will be more troublesome. And he has to go to Wuli. Without Wuli, he couldn't open Wanlu. He had known that he would not let Wuli go. It is very passive now. After bypassing the desolate beast above his head, Jian Wushuang's figure shook, and it took only a few breaths to travel through the space before returning to the pile of rocks. After entering the crevice of the stone with 7 turns and 8 turns, he followed a hole and entered the stalactite cave. With the sound of breaking the water, the two Li family's masters of the universe almost moved. After discovering that it was Jian Wushuang, he breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing him come back, Li Sheng, who was cross-legged to recover his supernatural power, also opened his eyes. "It seems that you are recovering well," Jian Wushuang said. Li Sheng smiled awkwardly. Seeing the sacred meeting, who wouldn't prepare some treasures to restore divine power, this time he was injured, and he almost spent all the treasures. The result was still not able to recover to the peak. "Friend Wushuang, how are you preparing?" Li Sheng's tone was very plain, and he didn't dare to repeat it. He can't protect himself now, and he has to take care of 2 younger generations in the family. I didn't dare to offend Jian Wushuang. Now it is completely relying on Jian Wushuang to be able to refine the conversion pill and to survive here safely, waiting for news from the Empress. Jian Wushuang randomly found a flat place to make a small cross-legged and said indifferently, "The materials are enough, it depends on the luck this time." The material obtained this time can be tested twice. If it succeeds the 3rd time, then everyone can get a conversion pill. When letting him is not needed. There are 4 more people here, plus Wu Li. You have to refine 5. According to the order he wanted to protect, Wu Li was the first, and Jin Chen was the second. Follow-ups are not arranged, and you can give it to whoever is pleasing to the eye. There were vicissitudes in Li Sheng's eyes, recalling that he was full of spirits a few days ago, but now he is so embarrassed. Those familiar faces have fallen one by one. Compared with their Li family, the Jiang family is even worse. For King Kong, 3 came. All fall. Fighting over and over, the ultimate fate is fall. Only a stronger presence can protect itself. Blame him for not being strong enough. Now his biggest vision is not to fight, but to keep the hope of the family. Then trouble fellow Wushuang Daoist, if I go out, my Li family will definitely come out with a thank you gift to visit. Li Xing put his posture to the lowest. Hope Jian Wushuang can refine successfully. Jin Chen's strength is low, and she doesn't know what happened to the outside world. She can also guess that those who left may never come back. There are also the 2 lords of the 3 tribulations realm universe from the Li family. They are all the pride of the sky, but in the face of real opportunities, there is no family to cover the wind and rain. It's just like Luo Tangji. Ridiculous and pitiful. Jian Wushuang ignored them and began to refine the conversion pill by himself. At his level, pill furnaces are needed for alchemy. Just throw the refining materials into the source. Nothing is more powerful than the source. The first test. He needs to reconcile both yin and yang. You reading www.akanshu.com. It's the same as the fusion of water and fire. It's just that the difference between human race and desolate beast is not comparable to water and fire. For death and life, he experimented many times. The combination of human race and desolate beast is not difficult for him. It's just that the details are more difficult to grasp, and if you make a mistake, you must overthrow it. If it is not because of external pressure too much, he can study it tens of thousands of times. If you are proficient, you will be able to succeed every time. But now the time and environment don't give him this opportunity. It can only be done in the fastest way. Failed. He was not surprised when he failed for the first time. Something expected. He had to try at least 3 key steps in refining the transformation pill. The first failure is acceptable, but the second failure is not allowed. He didn't believe it anymore. He would choose one of the 3 with bad luck, and he failed both times. It really succeeded the second time. Continue to refine. Until the last step. Choose one from 9. According to his experience, the 6 paths with the smallest probability can be eliminated. Choose one of 3 again. But this time, the probability of choosing one of 3 is only 10%. Because there may also be 9 paths he eliminated. This is the hardest point. But he only had 1 chance to experiment. Can't fail. Unfortunately, some things are often not as desired. Still failed. Seeing that the material is lost in half. Even if it succeeded for the 3rd time, it would not be enough for them. But now there is no other way. Can only bite the bullet and continue. If it doesn't work, go to the outside world and kill some wild beasts. Chapter 58:19. Before Jiaolong had searched this place, he still had some time. Last chance. Backhand threw all the materials into the source, refining step by step, extremely smoothly, and reached the final critical step. This time he cannot fail. It took a long time to raise funds before making the final decision. The blue origin shook for a while and began to condense into a pill. Whether it succeeds or not depends on the effect. An evil spirit hit, and the sword was overjoyed. Successful. He grabbed several pills floating in the sky of Origin Star. Consciousness returned to the deity and stood up directly. Took a long breath. This time he finally succeeded. Although there are only 4 pills, as long as he has the pill prescription and the successfully refined pill, he can refine it again. There are exactly 4 people here. Originally I planned to keep one for Wu Li, but there will be no one for a while, so I can only give it to others first, and when he finds Wu Li, he will refine another one for the other party. These are all small things. 1 for each person, eat it. Jian Wushuang handed over to everyone. Jin Chen held a hot pill and hesitated. After the conversion, is it really impossible to transform back into a human race? Li Xing did not hesitate, he was the most decisive. He didn't expect that Jian Wushuang would give each of them one, so he ate it without hesitation. The pill enters the abdomen, and within a short while, the origin of the body begins to change. The power of the source has not diminished, but the upper limit has been reduced. But the divine power is constantly getting stronger. Sharp tentacles grew on Li Xing's body. The tentacles in the back row looked like Qilong's horns. Kuelong is among the materials used to refine pill. There are also fish. Li Xing's yang energy is heavy, so he turned into a dragon. My supernatural power has increased by more than 20,000. Li Xing was overjoyed. He didn't expect to increase so much, and his injury was fine. It was a surprise. After the conversion, he looked at the younger generations of the 2 families and nodded, indicating that they could also be converted. Jian Wushuang was fairly satisfied with the pill he had refined, but he hadn't even thought about Jin Chen's problem. It was quite troublesome to reverse the human pill again. Moreover, if you want to refine and transform into a human pill, the materials needed are the strong humans. After a pause, he replied, "Wait, there will be a way. If it doesn't work, I will reverse the pill and refining and transform it into a human conversion pill. But at that time, you have to let your majesty go down and give it to me. Find materials. To reverse the prescription, just experiment and the required materials. I am afraid that a lot of masters of the universe will be needed. Fortunately, Jin Chen is an emperor, but even if he is an emperor, he still needs to kill many human emperors and powerful people. Killing wild beasts is okay. The 2 are originally opposed. There is no karma if you kill. But slaughter is weak and has karma. At the beginning, he didn't care about karma because of karma. Anyway, I am sick, I am not afraid of one more. Now that the cause and effect is gone, he doesn't want to do this kind of thing anymore. When the Qin family was destroyed, it was because the Qin family's own karma was not small, so the Qin family was destroyed. Not only did he not get the of karma, but he was also protected by the golden light of morality. Eliminate evil. It's still good, and it's a very long-term thing. Be evil. Only short-term benefits will be obtained, not long-term. Unless it is halfway whitewashed. Of course, in Jian Wushuang's view, no matter which one it was all for profit. No one cares about ants. That is the essence. Jin Chen didn't understand the whole story. He felt that he could be transformed into a human race, and he didn't hesitate. Also began to switch. In the end, all 4 were successfully converted. Li Xing became a shameful dragon. Jin Chen became a mermaid. The backs of the other 2 Lis turned into a pair of Yasha. Jian Wushuang was quite satisfied. It was the same as Daxia in Qishan Temple. He looked like a person in appearance, but the things he did and the breath on his body were not at all connected with the human race. Seeing Jian Wushuang changed his body, it was like a new person. Several people were a little curious, but didn't dare to ask more. Well, now we set off and leave here. Jian Wushuang jumped into the pool first, and the others followed suit. He took the lead, and Li Xing was behind. The 2 masters of the universe in the Li family are protecting Jin Chen. They came out of the pile of rocks and swaggered across the river bottom. Li Xing, who followed at the end, looked around and asked, "Wushuang Taoist fellow, there is a plan. Where is our next foothold?" Speaking of where to go, Jian Wushuang himself didn't know. He followed the path of finding Wu Li based on cause and effect. It's just not easy to tell these people. I haven't figured it out yet, but there are many wild beasts at the bottom of the river, and they should be divided into races and forces. Since we have converted to a monster race, we will meet those monster race forces, and maybe we will unexpectedly receive the goods. Jian Wushuang still had some expectations. He is not like these people are scared and stupid, just want to save his life. There are so many opportunities for the holy meeting, and he is still some distance away from the perfection of the universe, and all the chess pieces on the Guantian chessboard can be swallowed. He didn't have the strength to swallow the rest. Can only look for the original treasure. This place is a good place. The origin of the desolate beast is very fragile and does not need too many original treasures. I am afraid that there are a lot of them at the bottom of the river. He can take the opportunity to search some. After Li Xing heard it, he sighed in his heart, feeling that he was old. The younger generation of strong men is still thinking of chance in desperate situations, but he just wants to save his life. That's how the strength is stretched. The pattern is so slowly getting smaller. After the group left the rubble, they walked for almost a day. Finally left the Watergrass River area. At this time they reached a huge deep ditch at the bottom of the river. This deep ditch is like a mountain range on the ground. Jian Wushuang didn't even think about it, so he plunged in. They also encountered a lot of wild beasts along the way. But those wild beasts hide far away when they see them. The desolate beasts of the Four Tribulations realm did not dare to approach. This is related to the breath on his body. Among them, Li Xing has the highest realm, the lord of the Four Tribulation realm universe. But now he has used the origin of the beast god, and his appearance is also a robbery. Moreover, the origin of the beasts, although they have not yet reached the peak, but it also reached the pinnacle of the Four Tribulations realm. When the wild beasts saw him, they thought he was the descendant of the beast and the pinnacle of the Four Tribulations realm. Don't hide far away. The descendants of the beast gods are noble existences everywhere. Jian Wushuang only used twice the power of the beast and could maintain this state forever. Plus the origin of the beast god. He is indeed a descendant of animal design now. But these wild beasts did not dare to approach him, which was also a problem. There is no way for him to find an entry point. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of the beautiful wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5820. You can't just wander around. The guidance of cause and effect is a little vague after all. Wu Li has a high probability in this deep ditch. I don't know how the other party escaped. Now I can only go in and talk about it. In the huge river bottom mountains, there are countless wild beasts. There are also many treasures. There are some treasures that the wild beasts look down upon, but for Jian Wushuang, they are of great use. Along the way, he has picked up treasures that enhance his origin. Everything contained in it is extremely rich. It's also a good treasure when placed outside. Li Xing was a little surprised to see him doing this. The strength is clearly comparable to the peak of the Four Tribulations realm, but he picks up some here that he doesn't look up to. For those who practice divine power, those treasures that enhance their origins can be considered treasures if they are relatively special, but like those picked up by Jian Wushuang, even in the Three Tribulations realm, they don't look up to them. Jian Wushuang didn't care about other people's gazes, and stopped and went, picking up a lot of original treasures. Enough to condense a black hole. You can pick it up easily, why not pick it up? He is now getting closer and closer to the great perfection of the universe. Once the universe is consummated, it will be almost impossible to condense the real universe. Before condensing the universe, he had to break through the tribulation realm. I feel where I am. This does require a lot of external force and my own understanding. It's something you can't ask for. He needs to realize in the crisis. Right now, there is really a crisis coming. A great battle is taking place in a narrow gap on the periphery of the mountain range. The leaders on both sides are the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse, and there are hundreds of Three Tribulations realm beasts. In the narrow gap, the ground shaken by both sides. Jian Wushuang took people nearby to watch. Let's go, These wild beasts seem to be fighting for a treasure. Li Sheng's eyes were very old, and at a glance he could see a faint halo beneath the gap. And with it comes a unique force. It should be a valuable treasure. Others really can't tell. Hearing Li Sheng's words, Jian Wushuang only paid a little attention to the treasure under the gap. It seems to be a treasure that increases divine power. For the wild beast, it is indeed worth fighting for. But to Jian Wushuang, it was rubbish. What he cares about is not the treasure, but the battle. The strong on both sides. None of them used the body, they were all humanoids, and it seemed that they weren't to the point of a death fight. For those lonely beasts, there are obviously some differences. The strong one fighting between the two sides has a high probability of coming from two forces. If he is going to take a kick at this time, you can take the opportunity to mix into a certain desolate beast force, so that it will be more convenient for him to find Wu Li next. Now he has to think about how to use this fight to gain the trust of the other party. The first is the origin of identity. This Furukawa is extremely wide, traversing the entire periphery. The source goes straight to the core of the inner circle. The forces are bound to be complicated. It is not difficult to conceal one's identity, and a false identity can be fabricated at will. They all have the origin of wild beasts, and the other party will not regard them as adult races no matter how much doubt. After thinking for a long time, Jian Wushuang paid attention. Turning to look at Li Sheng and the others, he said calmly, "Are you ready?" Li Sheng was stunned for a moment when he heard it. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly thought of something and quickly pulled Jin Chen and the others back. "You are crazy." He thought Jian Wushuang was going crazy and going to treasures from the wild beasts. This is not to blame for him thinking. But Jian Wushuang had already exploded out of breath. "Ha!" Jian Wushuang shouted, his supernatural power soared to 550,000. A flash, directly into the gap in the mountain range. The sudden eruption not only shocked Li Sheng and others. Even the wild beasts that were still fighting were stunned. Facing the mysterious powerhouse who suddenly appeared, they stopped one after another. Jian Wushuang was bathed in scarlet aura, which was the power of the beast god. The purest innate beast god. This breath overwhelmed all the wild beasts. He also took this opportunity to glance at these wild beasts. Because I didn't use the deity, he looked like a dog, but his appearance was strange, just in the shape of a human. The leaders on both sides are all peak powers of the Four Tribulations realm, with divine powers above 500,000. Similar to the greedy wolf back then. However, the Sirius tribe is not just a barren beast. They are all descendants of beast gods who claim to be noble. Jian Wushuang is the same now. A supernatural power of 550,000 bursts out, and the two of them are calmed down directly. At the same time, he also found that these two Four Tribulations realm peak powerhouses had a sign hanging on their chests. The shapes of the brands are different. It appears to be a distinction between the two forces. One of the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse with a fish head human body frowned when he saw Jian Wushuang, who suddenly appeared. He could see that Jian Wushuang's aura was very special, and his strength was stronger than him, and it was extremely difficult to provoke. "Let me interrupt your yaxing. The treasures below this place are very important to me. I don't want to come thousands of miles. It is for this treasure. Please give me face." Jian Wushuang hugged his fists towards the leaders of both parties. This made the strong leaders on both sides stunned. However, they are all wary of this sudden emergence of the strong. The two powerhouses are both desolate beast forces in the mountains. Although it is a hostile relationship, at least know the roots. Suddenly seeing the Four Tribulations realm powerhouse facing him, I can't help but feel a little skeptical. And as soon as he came, he would fight for the treasures below by name and surname. This is too much. After playing for such a long time, you can't give it a hand. Even if you feel Jian Wushuang's breath is unusual, it is likely that he is a descendant of the beast god, who is extremely powerful, but he won't let it go. The point is that Jian Wushuang has already made it clear that he is not a local powerhouse. This is even less need to worry. There are so many of them, they will never be robbed by an outsider. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned, and he knew this too. That's what he wants. Let both sides stand on the same line first, and make a solid impression of his identity as a strong man in the field. That is enough. The next step is to dismantle these people from within. Does Your Excellency have a problem with your brain? Just let it be if you say so. What do you think of us? The Four Tribulations realm powerhouse with the fish-head human body gave a cold snort, completely uncut. He doesn't care where the mysterious powerhouse in front of him comes from, or how hard his background is. This place is their territory. It's so easy if you want treasures. After Jian Wushuang heard this, he was not angry, but was delighted in his heart. I was abrupt. He took out 10,000 mixed stones from the mustard seeds without rushing, and said indifferently, "This is the treasure I got from killing the strong human race a few days ago. It was bred in the original universe of the strong human race. I am willing to exchange this for the treasure below." Hunyuan stone. There are millions of Hunyuan stones in his body, which are needed no matter if it is a human being, these barren beasts, or a special life. Chapter 58:21. Not only can it increase divine power, but it can also restore its origin. For these people and beasts, it is also a rare treasure. In the infinite world, there have been strong people in the past, but there are no more people than the opening of the holy meeting. And that's a long time ago. There are too few local powerhouses who can come up with the Hunyuan stone here. I'm afraid some have already been used. The Four Tribulations realm powerhouse of the fish-head human body has only heard of the legend of the Hunyuan stone. This is the first time I have seen you. Feeling the special breath bred by Shangfen, my heart trembled. He had heard that this kind of mixed origin stone, the lord of the human universe, takes a long time to condense one. The opponent's shot is 10,000 yuan, which is definitely a big deal. I want to agree right now. But before he said it, Jian Wushuang spoke. Since you saw it first, then you will divide the 10,000 mixed stones. As soon as he said this, the strong fish head frowned and turned to look at the strong snake head who had previously competed with him for the treasures here. The Hunyuan stone is more important to them than the treasures below. How could it be divided? For the treasures below, we must fight each other. Not to mention these mixed stones. But neither of them are stupid. What if you lose both sides and get attacked by a mysterious person again? For a while, the two sides were in a stalemate again. The sword has no two-sided color, which is the same as he imagined. Since the two of you have no objection, the treasure will be collected next. He waved his hand and burst out extremely powerful divine power in his palm, directly sucking the treasure that still exudes light in the gap into his hand. After weighing it up, after deepening his thoughts, he discovered that it was a kind of inner alchemy left by a wild beast of vegetation. In fact, it is a small ball after the fall, the original source condenses and shrinks. Inside, there is a complete origin of the universe. And it is the origin above the Four Tribulations realm. The value is not small. This is the origin of the universe with roots. It's not the original origin of everything. The original origin of all things was condensed by the Lord of all things. It is water without roots. This inner alchemy contains the purest origin of the wild beast. Although it does not help his starry sky origin. He doesn't like it either. But it is of great use to the origin of his beasts. It is completely possible to upgrade the origin of the beast gods to another level. 10,000 mixed yuan stones, spend is not considered a loss. After receiving the treasure, Jian Wushuang turned around and was ready to leave. The strong fish head and the strong snake head stopped him at the same time. Jian Wushuang frowned and said, "Everyone, this is a bit out of order. Friends, you misunderstood." The strong fish head smiled flatteringly. The strong snake head also leaked a kind smile, wanting to come close. However, Jian Wushuang backed away again and said in a vigilant manner, "Why is that?" "That's right, fellow Taoists still have this virgin stone, I'm willing to collect it at a high price." The fish head expert said diligently. Seeing this, the strong snakehead was unwilling to show weakness, and said quickly, "I am willing to pay double the price." For this, the two fought again. Upon seeing this, Jian Wushuang hurriedly came out to make a round and said, You too, there is indeed a bit of mixed stone on the lower body, but the treasures I need to go deeper into the mountains to be able to find. I am afraid the two. Don't worry, although I can't take it out, my prince can definitely take it out. The strong fish head knew what Jian Wushuang wanted to say, and he obviously felt that the two of them were not qualified and couldn't take out that kind of treasure. But their great king definitely has the treasure Jian Wushuang needs. And there are many more. The mountains here stretch to the inner circumference of the almost infinite world, and there are countless strong ones. But if you really want to say who is the strongest, that is definitely their king. The same goes for treasures. Hearing the word big king, the strong snakehead fell silent. The power he was in was established by a special being in the five tribulations realm, and his background was incomparable to the great king in the mouth of a strong fish head. Because which great king is a real powerhouse in the six tribulations realm. Like a snake, don't fight with me. You can't fight with me. I am willing to share these 10,000 yuan stones with you. I also look at you. Don't ask for trouble. Suddenly, the strong fish head Jian Wushuang was a little surprised by the hard temper. The strong snakehead snorted coldly, took half of the Hunyuan stone into his hands, and snorted coldly, "You are running around, don't be proud, we will be long in the future." Putting down a cruel word, he hurriedly left with his subordinates. The fish head rushed and said proudly, "This snake is quite sensible. In this mountain range, no one can contend with my great king." "Oh?" Jian Wu asked with surprise on both sides. "I don't know if the king in the mouth of your friend is the Holy Lord?" The superpower among the wild beasts, especially claiming to be the Holy Master, Jian Wushuang's words can be regarded as jargon. But after hearing this, Ba Tu Ben quickly waved his hand and said, "No, no, my lord, I disdain those vulgar names, you can call him the King of the River." The King of the River? Jian Wushuang deliberately widened his eyes. When he was collecting waste beast materials, he had searched for the soul of some waste beasts in the three tribulations realm. In the memory of those wild beasts, you reading www.ukanshu.com has the title of King of the River. Just don't know the exact identity of the other party. Maybe those wild beasts were just heard. Yes, it's the King of the Roman River. Ba Babin was very proud of it, and then said to Jian Wushuang very carefully, "Also, my great king is the only super strong in the entire romance in the six tribulations realm. God's body has been robbed 6 times. God!" Jian Wushuang was really shocked this time. He didn't expect that this ancient Hanoi had superpowers in the six tribulations realm. Now he regrets a bit. Originally, he took out the Hunyuan stone, just to attract the other party's attention. Then break into their interior. This is also good for heading to the depths of the mountains openly. Now I learned that there was an old monster in the six tribulations realm inside. He was a little scared. But you don't have to be afraid. My prince is the most merciful. As long as you have the Hunyuan stone, the prince can take out the treasure and exchange it with you. He will never bully the small with big things. If you don't believe it, you can ask around. Paid his chest and promised. Although the wisdom of the wild beast is no less than that of the human race, but its heroic temperament is much stronger than that of the human race. Jian Wushuang could only choose to believe it now. Then I will be the king's cave mansion, and he'll be harassing 1 or 2. Ba Bo Ben said politely, "No problem." After confirming, Jian Wushuang turned his head to greet Li Sheng, who was hiding far away, and motioned for them to come. Li Sheng was in the distance and saw everything. Know what Jian Wushuang is going to do. Originally, he thought the plan was okay. But when he heard the six tribulations realm, he regretted it. They were originally chased by the 5 tribulations realm flood dragon, but they had just escaped from the wolf's mouth, and now they are going into the tiger's den again. Chapter 58:22. Fortunately for the former, the female emperor would be able to clean up the flood dragon when she came back, but the wild beasts in the 6 tribulations realm, even the female emperor came, did not take the slightest advantage. This is breaking one's own way. Now following Jian Wushuang, he can only recognize it. Reluctantly followed. Jian Wushuang beckoned and said with a smile, Brother Ba, these are all my subordinates, isn't it okay? Not bad. Ba Bobbin leaked a smile to everyone and greeted enthusiastically. Jian Wushuang rubbed his hands. Then we will set off? No problem. Ba Bo Ben let his subordinates disperse, leaving only a few barren beasts at the pinnacle of the Three Tribulations realm to accompany, bringing Jian Wushuang and a group of people, flying towards the depths of the mountain range. On the way, Jian Wushuang also told a lot about the treasures and dangerous places in the mountains. At the same time, he also talked about the forces in the mountains at the bottom of the river. There are 3 major forces in total. One is Bishui Snake Mansion. It is the force where the Lapis Snake was previously. The Holy Lord in the mansion is a powerhouse at the pinnacle of the 5 Tribulations realm. There is a competition for the duration of the double serve. But I dare not make things bigger. After all, the forces of the 6 Tribulations realm really had to rise to the battle level, and no one was an opponent. In addition to the Jade Water Snake Mansion, there is also a power that was also established by the 5 Tribulations realm. However, it is not the southern mountains, but the northern waters near the infinite world. Generally, if there is no contact, there is no too much introduction. Mainly talk about the power built by the king of the river. Weilong Mountain. A superpower built by special beings at the level of the 6th Tribulation realm. Originally Jian Wushuang thought that the king of the river was a desolate beast, but he did not expect it to be a special life. That combat power is stronger. I am afraid that the divine power is about to break through 1 million. Li Sheng was behind him, with cold sweat on his back. 1 million supernatural power, to them, is a sense of suffocation. The king of the river, also known as the king of Timyu, the body is a huge 9-eyed sky toad. Jian Wushuang disdainfully said, "Isn't it just a big toad?" He has seen a lot of experts in the 6 Tribulations realm. No need to be afraid. I comforted myself. He did see a lot. The Lord of the Universe of the 6 Tribulations and the Lord of the Universe of the 7 Tribulations have all seen it. It was even close contact with the super-existence of the 9 Tribulations realm in half a step. Facing that kind of strong is the real suffocation. It's the so-called Weiss. Did not feel any pressure from the other party. It's just that when you fight with it, you feel nervous. In the clone of Bobby D, the weakest contact with the strongest is the 7 Tribulations realm. Not only has his vision widened, but also his ability to withstand pressure is also full. Weilong Mountain. Then go to the Weilong Mountain. This Weilong Mountain, in addition to the TMU King, there are 3 other Dharma Kings. They are all top powerhouses at the level of the 5 Tribulations. There are more powerhouses at the 4 Tribulations realm level, 100. But there are only 8 people who can become law protectors. Ba Bo Ben is one of them. Ranked 8th. The peak combat power of the 4 Tribulation realm. Even the human form that shrinks the deity now has 500,000 supernatural powers. If the deity played in battle, it could explode to 550,000. This combat power, even among the human race's master of the 4 Tribulations realm universe, is also a top powerhouse. Jian Wushuang's current state has 550,000 supernatural powers, and it is using the identity of the descendant of the beast god. Everyone would think that if he uses the deity, he might have 600,000 supernatural powers. The reason why the desolate beasts are usually in human form not only imitates the human race. It's that they found that converging the divine body would save divine power. Maintaining the deity all the time, it consumes too much. It is better to converge the body and become the smallest human form. Can save a lot of supernatural power. The desolate beast looked very handsome. In fact, internal struggles are no less than human races. When you open your eyes, you need to fight for chance. It's almost a small battle for 3 days and a big battle for 10 days. However, although they looked more combative, they were actually more conservative in fighting. Just like the battle just now, they didn't use the deity. Click to stop. This still surprised Jian Wushuang. The small talk along the way also made him feel good about this bully. Although they are of different ethnic groups, they have a personality that admires each other. Arrive. Ba Xiao ran for a while, and his speed slowed down. A majestic mountain appeared in front of him. In this mountain range, it can definitely be ranked in the top 3. If you stand on top, you will have a glimpse of the small mountains. Weilong Mountain, Jian Wushuang said silently, then turned to ask, Brother Ba, is there really a dragon in Weilong Mountain? When Ba Bobbin heard this, he smiled and said, Brother, you really guessed it. There are dragons in Weilong Mountain, but they are not true dragons. The gods of true dragons are comparable to those of beast gods. They want to become a catastrophe. The environment is too difficult. There is no real dragon in the entire Roman River. Then this Weilong Mountain? Jian Wushuang pointed at the mountain. Ba Baoben explained, there are no real dragons and there are still dragons. Weilong Mountain was once occupied by a black dragon. After being defeated by the king of my family, he threw himself into the king to sit down. The king felt that the name was domineering, kept. Hey Jiao. Jian Wushuang frowned and said inwardly, Yanjia is on a narrow road. Li Sheng's face also sank. They were chased by a flood dragon and had nowhere to hide before they turned into desolate beasts. The black dragon in Weilong Mountain, isn't it the one they encountered? If so, can only say that things are impermanent. It is estimated that the strong people who watch the game from the outside will lament their adventures. Fortunately, they have all changed their origins. Even if they encounter it, it's nothing. Ba Boben took them to the foot of the mountain, and the wild beast guarding the gates saw Ba Boben and said respectfully, Master Law Protector is back. Well, has there been a major event on the mountain recently? Ba Tubin asked casually. The little demon guarding the mountain gate shook his head and replied, relying on the master guard to open up the territory and expand the land, the mountain gate is not harmful. Reward you. Ba Boben threw out some treasures casually and threw them to the 2 little monsters guarding the gate. They were happy from ear to ear. Seeing unfamiliar faces, although I don't know him, I feel that the divine power is stronger than domineering, and I quickly salutes respectfully. Upon seeing this, Jian Wushuang turned his head and gave Li Xing a wink. Li Xing could only do so, and took out some treasures from the mustard seeds and threw them to the 2 little demons. Leave them alone, let's go in. Ba Boben admired Jian Wushuang's actions. But Li Xing felt that it was unnecessary. Since the reward is given, why not reward it yourself, and have to let him pay? Jian Wushuang's stingy impression was embedded in his mind. Since entering the mountains, it has been picking up the tatters. Now it's even worse. Jian Wushuang didn't care what others thought of him. He only knows why he did not do much to protect these people this time. Let them make some treasures, what is it? Following the tyrant, he climbed the Weilong Mountain all the way. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of the beautiful wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5823. Front Hall. Ba Bobbin had passed the news to King Tianmu in advance, and now King Tianmu was waiting for Jian Wushuang in the hall. By the way, I haven't asked my brother's name and surname yet, so I can give back to the king later. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate, and directly replied, Under Hu Biao, from the south bank of the Luoman River. Ba Boben smiled and said, Brother Hu, wait a moment, I'll go in and report. After speaking, he entered the hall. Only Jian Wushuang and his party were left outside the hall. Turning his head and looking at Li Sheng, who was pulling his face, the transmission said, You can use your own name, just say that it is my subordinate. Needless to say, the basic information of Nanan has been sent to your token. Come on, take a look. Although the breath is a wild beast. But to be on the safe side, I still have to make up for the common sense of the infinite world, the words that have been exchanged between the wild beasts. Otherwise it will be suspected. After Li Sheng and others heard about it, they quickly flipped through the token. Jian Wushuang glanced at Jin Qin. She was just an emperor, but she was beautiful. Even if she became a mermaid, her face was a normal human face, unchanged from the previous one. Only his feet became fishtails. Bring this. Jian Wushuang's mask was handed to Jin Chen. After Jin Chen took it, he was surprised. What is this? Don't think about it, take it first. Jian Wushuang hurriedly urged as he felt the breath of domineering approaching. Jin Chen didn't hesitate anymore, and quickly put the mask on his face. The outline of her face did not change, but there was a black fish scale on the cheek of her left cheek. Touching his face in disbelief, Jin Chen felt a little desperate. First it became a desolate beast, and now he got a fish scale on his face. She almost broke down. Holy meeting! Or it is a purgatory. The weak are struggling. The strong are competing. She suddenly wanted to go back. Back to the country of you. I want to go to the daughter country even more. No wonder the Lord Yunji had persuaded her not to attend the holy meeting. There is a reason for everything. The sudden departure of the mother, the fall of the elders. The blow to her was too great. Jian Wushuang glanced, although he couldn't bear it, but there was no other way. The reason why the female emperor is the female emperor, I am afraid that the suffering she has endured is far more terrifying than it is now. At least he is protecting Jin Chen now. I hope the other party can carry it. If you don't have a firm will, you just want a rich life. It's better to go to the Yunji kingdom lord. Following the Empress Fengchen, even if it is a daughter, there is no good fruit. The female emperor will only become more and more strict with Jin Chen. The greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. The female emperor's expectation is that after she becomes a saint, she can let Jin Chen take her place. As long as Jin Chen broke through and became the Tribulation realm, he could quickly reach the Three Tribulations realm, and then master the universe and inherit the throne. And it has the blessing of the Empress. It is not difficult for the Emperor to sit firmly. This is what the Empress expects of Jin Chen. If the Empress saw Jin Chen now, she might be disappointed. Maybe Jian Wushuang was also included. I feel that Jian Wushuang can also help Jin Chen. But Jian Wushuang is not a fish in the pond at all. It is impossible to stay in Vietnam for long. After this sacred meeting is over, there is a high probability that he will run away. Jin Chen wants to face everything alone. Hey! Jian Wushuang covered his sigh and turned his head to the hall. The heart of the strong must be possessed. We have to face it, the path the strong must take. There are flowers in the greenhouse, but no thorns. Please, Hu Biao. A loud noise rang out in the hall, and Babo Ben also walked out, making a gesture of asking. Jian Wushuang nodded, turned his head and said to Li Xing behind him, "You are waiting here, I will go in alone." It was him who asked, and it would not be in accordance with the rules to bring someone else. This is Baishan. Not a visit. After taking a step forward and walking into the hall, he felt a sense of oppression. It is impolite to shrink in mind and not dare to explore. I can only look around for a week, and then move forward. At a glance, there are hundreds of strong people in this hall. The weakest is the Three Tribulations realm, and the breath of the Four Tribulations realm can be felt a lot. And there are two big Five Tribulation realm powerhouses, sitting in high positions on both sides. The first one in the middle is which King of the River, Tianmu, walking to the center of the hall, Jian Wushuang bowed and waved his hand, making a set of the highest gifts among the wild beasts. Boy, on the south bank of the Roman River, Wandashan Hu Biao pays respects to the king. As soon as the voice fell, a Four Tribulation realm peak powerhouse next to him asked, "Wandashan? Haven't heard of it. The hill is nameless. How dare you compare it with Weilong Mountain?" Jian Wushuang raised his head and faced the person who asked. This time his tone was firm. There is no respect for the strong. Desolate beasts are divided according to their strength. Be respectful to the strong. People of equal strength, no matter how high you are treated equally. Then you come to Luoman River. Do you worship the mountain or find friends? Jian Wushuang's right person asked again. Turning his head to see, it was a giant lava beast with gravel on his head. It was 100 feet tall and extremely tall. It was not a desolate beast, but a special being, whose divine power was even stronger than his. Come here to worship the mountains, hunt for treasures but not friends. Jian Wushuang answered one by one. Click. On the highest throne in the upper left, there was a knocking sound, and the king of 5 tribulations realm spoke. I heard that you have the Hunyuan stone, you killed the passerby, what's sacred grabbed? When the words got to the point, Jian Wushuang relaxed. It was because of the Hunyuan stone that he had the opportunity to worship the mountain this time. The real purpose is naturally not to use mixed stones to exchange treasures. Instead, he took the opportunity to visit Weilong Mountain. Since then, there is a guarantee. He also thought about it. I'm afraid he will be staying here for a while in the Roman River. It's not a problem to hide, and I have to look for Wu Li, bring some people. It's really inconvenient, you can only enter a big power first. It's safer. Use the mixed yuan stone to enter this Weilong Mountain on the grounds of exchanging treasures. Even if he is bullying the small, he will do the same. This loss is nothing. His strength is enough, and he has the power of a beast god. Those wild beasts can still be considered worthy of him. Otherwise, just grab it, how can there be so much nonsense? Jian Wushuang held his head high and replied loudly, it is a practitioner who is robbed, an outsider to kill. After speaking, more than 60,000 mixed stones were directly taken out. It's extremely messy, so it will make people believe that he only has this. These wild beasts also knew a lot about practitioners, and knew what the Hunyuan stone represented. Jian Wushuang's current face-to-face combat power can kill at most some practitioners at the 4 tribulations realm level. The amount of Hunyuan stones obtained is about this amount, and no matter how much it is, it will be suspected. Many powerful wild beasts straightened their eyes when they saw the Hunyuan stone, and even the FA kings on both sides got up and stood up. It's just that the KMU king has not been moved. Dear, click in, give a good comment, the higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of the beautiful wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5824. I took everything out, and now am waiting for which Tamu king speaks. Jie, your junior is indeed in line with the unking's appetite. King Namu shook his fat body and stood up. When he opened his mouth, the blood basin opened wide, extremely vicious. At the corner of his mouth, there are still a few fleshy whiskers. Let's talk, what treasure do you want to change? King Namu waved his hand, and the surrounding wild beasts all sat down. Jian Wu was overjoyed and said, Great King of Rivers, I want. He directly said the names of a large number of treasures, and the demand for performance was great. And these treasures are all in this mountain range. Although the Hunyuan stone is precious, there are only tens of thousands, which is obviously not enough for exchange. After listening to the king of the river, he laughed. You're quite greedy. You want to return so many treasures with this little Hunyuan stone. Do you have the life to take this sale? Babo Ben was also a little panicked at this time. At first, he felt that Jian Wushuang was very knowledgeable about current affairs. How arrogant to talk to the king, it was like a lion's mouth. Other wild beasts also thought Jian Wushuang was crazy. Don't look at where it is? Such skyrocketing prices. Are you afraid of going back and forth? Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes and swept around, but his heart was actually very nervous. After taking a deep breath, he continued, This bit of mixed yuan stone is indeed not enough to exchange, but I do need those treasures below. He was very embarrassed. The king of the river also looked in his eyes. After turning his eyes, he seemed to see through Jian Wushuang's thoughts. How could a special being in the 6 tribulations realm be a fool? After a little sorting out the ins and outs of Jian Wushuang, he understood what he was asking for. This mountain range is almost all in the grasp of Weilong Mountain, and the treasures Jian Wushuang needs on the bright side are all in this mountain range. Since there are not enough mixed stones, exchange it. Then you can only join in. But this sentence must be said by the king of the river. When Jian Wushuang said it, his intention was too obvious. As long as the other party nods and pushes the boat along the river, everyone will be their own. The supernatural power of 550,000 is also the blood of the beast god. In this mountain range, only the desolate beasts of the Five Tribulations realm were lost. Entering Weilong Mountain is indeed qualified. It's just that they don't have the qualifications. This mixed stone is a good stepping stone. After the king of the river understood, he was disdainful in his heart. He doesn't care about these mixed stones. The special beings in the Six Tribulations realm have not constructed their own universe, so why do they need these mixed element stones, treasures that enhance their divine power? So many are. It's just where the realm is stuck. But for the younger Jian Wushuang, he was quite optimistic. Courageous and strong. Courageous and strategic. It can indeed be accepted. With a look in his eyes, he handed it to Ba Ran, who was carrying Jian Wushuang up the mountain, to show his meaning. Ba Bo Ben was overjoyed and stood up. Since brother Hu needs these treasures, and this treasure is in my Weilongshen area, I think that my brother is taking his entourage along the road. It is better to enter my Weilong Mountain. It is also a place to stay, and he can search around for what he needs. Treasure, why not? As soon as this remark came out, Jian Wushuang first leaked his joy, then his expression sank again and said, I am weak in the next. I am afraid that I will not be able to enter the eyes of the great sages, I think. What else is good? Hu's strength, even if he is in my Weilong Mountain, he can still be a protector. I think you are behind me. How about being a 9 protector of Weilong Mountain? After Ba Bobbin finished speaking, he glanced at the other barren beasts and said, If you are unconvinced, can you come out to practice with Brother Hu? In addition to the TMU King and several Dharma Kings. The remaining 8 great guardians are all powerhouses at the pinnacle of the Four Tribulations realm, with a supernatural power of more than 500,000. And Jian Wushuang's supernatural power was 550,000. And the deity has not been leaked yet. These people are naturally a little afraid. Most of the Four Tribulations realm desolate beasts that are not even the protectors have more than 400,000 divine powers. For a time, no one really dared to stand up. Seeing no one speaks, Ba Borun respectfully salutes the upper-pointed King Demyu and says, My lord, I am Ba Rubin as an introducer to Brother Hu Biao, please accept it. Jian Wushuang also came along, showing the meaning. Come here and wait for this moment. Joining Weilong Mountain has a foothold. Then, in the name of looking for treasures, he went around looking for Wu Li's whereabouts. At the same time, you can also wait for the Empress. If the Empress returns, he will be able to leave by patting his butt. Nothing to lose to him. These Hunyuan stones are even to honor the Tamu King. The atmosphere in the hall calmed down. King Amu shook his fat body, kneaded his beard, and finally said, I announce that today, Weilong Mountain will add another guardian. The voice fell. Jian Wushuang let out a sigh of relief. When the desolate beast in the hall looked at Jian Wushuang, he also leaked kind eyes. Ba Paoben even put his arms around Jian Wushuang's shoulders and said excitedly, Brother Hu, I will be my own in the future. This time there is finally someone younger than me. It's 9. Thank you for the recommendation, Brother Ba. Jian Wushuang said politely, and then solemnly said to King Demyu, Thank you for taking in. King Demyu waved his hand, calmly said, Well, if you can join Weilong Mountain, you can be regarded as adding a general. I think you have the blood of the beast god. Enter the 5 tribulations. This evaluation is still quite high. Regardless of who Jian Wushuang faced, the other side was more optimistic about him. Regardless of whether it is the Yunji Kingdom Master, Tongha Sword Immortal, or which ancient Wood Continent's #1 Forge Master, they all have great expectations of him. Now even a special life is like this. Although they are of different races, Jian Wushuang still has warmth in his heart. During this period of time, it can be regarded as an overnight stay, and it is better not to have conflicts. His admission made Weilong Mountain lively for a short while. In the evening, there was a feast. Fortunately, there are no human races here, otherwise he would not be able to speak. After being happy, Ba Bobbin personally found him a cave mansion, which was considered settled down. Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief after sending him away. Although the layout of this cave is a bit rough, the divine power contained in it is quite good. At this moment he just relaxed. Li Xing hurriedly walked from outside the cave and said, "My lord, someone is coming to see you." Jian Wushuang was stunned for a moment, and he had just sent away Ba Ran. He didn't have any acquaintances here. Why is someone coming to see you suddenly? After cleaning up his appearance a bit, Jian Wushuang changed and walked out. Mrs. Poison. His expression remained unchanged when he saw the incoming person, but his heart sank. At the admission banquet, he had heard people mention this poisonous lady. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of The Beautiful Wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5825. 8 Protectors, ranked 2nd. The strength is extremely strong. When it is in human form, it has a supernatural power of 550,000. And she is good at using poison with weird methods. On Weilong Mountain, even if the Lord treats this protector, he is very polite. Like Tyrannical Run, I saw this poisonous lady as far away and hiding. It is really the name of a person, the shadow of a tree. Just hearing the name is scary, and it's normal to see me panicked. Although I have seen it at the banquet, there are so many people present at the time, and there is nothing to be afraid of. Now meeting in private, it will inevitably be a little nervous. But still bite the bullet and invited the other party into the cave. Poisonous woman. The body is a 1,000-eyed viper. She is very venomous. After transforming into a human form, it is also covered with black snake scales and soft armor. Although it is not as good as Jin Chen's appearance, it has a glamorous appearance. The human heart is cold. What about the little brother here? If you are not used to it, you can tell your sister at any time. Madame Poison walked into the cave, looked around, and started to care about Jian Wushuang. However, her eyes were aimed at Jin Qin in the corner of the Dong mansion, and evil spirits leaked in her eyes. This kind of look made Jin Qin stand uneasy, so he could only lower his head and not look at each other. Jian Wushuang was thinking about the other party's intentions, and the sudden concern was indeed a little inexplicable. What is this kidding him? He didn't have any intersection with this poisonous lady, so caring, there must be something. He immediately signaled Jin Qin to get some tea, and then asked Mrs. Poison to sit down, and then said, "The king treats me well, and Brother Ba takes care of me very much, so I don't care about Madame Poison." Jin Qin swayed the fish's tail, slowly drifting over, carefully put down the tea, and just about to leave, he was grabbed by Mrs. Poison's hand. This sudden move made Jin Qin startled. He wanted to withdraw his grasped hand, only to find that he couldn't move at all. Jian Wu's double-faced color sank, put his hand on the back of the two of them, and said, "Madam, if you have something to say, please say it." As soon as his words fell, a dark red power of the beast broke out in the palm of his hand, which directly helped Jin Qin break free. Mrs. Poison said in a pity, "Such a beautiful jade hand, it's a pity." After speaking, he raised his head and stared at Jin Chen's face and looked up unscrupulously. Jian Wushuang understood it at this time, and the other party didn't seem to be here for him. I thought it was because of his appearance that attracted the other party, but I didn't expect it to be because of Jin Chen. But Jin Chen was just an emperor. What can the other party see? Appearance? Jian Wushuang swallowed, but he didn't expect the other party to have this hobby. If it is someone else, he can still call the shots, but Jin Chen is absolutely safe. Otherwise, you will be guilty. Mrs. Poison thoroughly expressed her intentions and said directly, "Brother Hu Biao, you are a good maid, it is better to give it to my sister. I have a lot of the treasures you need." Really? Let him guess right. And the other party wants to exchange treasures. An emperor maid. In this world of the weak and the strong, even the ants are not counted. With his current status, there is no reason not to agree. But he had no choice. An electric arc flashed in his eyes. Jin Chen was already trembling with fright next to him. The Madame Poison sitting on the side looked more and more attracted, and said nonchalantly, "This little girl is still a virgin, really a good skin." Ha! Jian Wushuang took the teacup and drank it, and laughed in agreement. Jin Chen panicked. Not only Jin Chen, but also Li Sheng and others. Looking at Jian Wushuang now, they had forgotten who they were and had completely turned into a desolate beast. Jian Wushuang held the teacup, smiled, his face turned cold. Click. The teacup in his hand was also crushed. The breath on his body suddenly exploded, and the candle dragon wings behind him opened directly, and his divine power reached 550,000 in an instant. Mrs. Poison, do you think it's good to be bullied? I just arrived at Weilong Mountain, so I came to the clothes-fitting maid below. Jian Wushuang became more and more angry, wishing to start immediately. Madame Pe did not expect Jian Wushuang to be so angry. Isn't she just an emperor's maid? With just one move, countless people rushed forward and hugged him as a maid. Why be attached to one? Jian Wushuang's eruption immediately attracted the attention of the strong outside the cave. The Babo Ben, who was not far from here, rushed in directly. After seeing Mrs. Poison, the momentum just disappeared. Then he squeezed out a smiling face and flattered, "Hey, I said why Lao Jio's cave is so lively. It turns out that it is the second sister here." It seemed that he came in with a flattering smile, but it was natural to stand on Jian Wushuang's side. "Big head fish, you'd better not interfere with today's affairs, or you can cook fish head soup," Madame Poison yelled, and there were a lot of black fine lines on her cheeks, spreading half of her face. The snake letter from the mouth spit out, terrifying. Jian Wushuang was not accustomed to the opponent either, and also shouted angrily. The candle dragon wings first wrapped his whole body, and then suddenly vibrated. After the wings spread out again, he completely transformed into a candle dragon. A long roar shocked the world. "This is the real beast god." Slowly raising Zhulong's arm, Jian Wushuang said coldly, "Old witch, if you want to fight today, I will accompany you to the end. If you don't dare, you will get far away." Viewing the sky on the chessboard, gradually rises in the starry sky of his origin. Jiangjia has spread all over his body unknowingly. The power of the beast has once again increased. 3 times the power of the beast has also become 4 times. The divine power is full of 600,000. Mrs. Poison was also frightened. She didn't expect Jian Wushuang to be so powerful. If the body leaks out, the strongest divine power erupts, I am afraid it will exceed 600,000. Mrs. Poison knew her weight. Even if she took out the viper's body, she felt that she was not Jian Wushuang's opponent. As for the poison, she could see the special dark red armor on Jian Wushuang with her naked eyes. If you really want to fight, you won't have the upper hand at all. But she just laughed. Where did she put her face? Babo Ben also saw it at this time, and hurriedly said, "Brother Hu, you calm down, everyone is your own, why bother to make it so embarrassing?" Saying that, in fact, he also has opinions on Mrs. Poison. Knowing that Jian Wushuang was brought by him, he came to find fault. If you find it, it has to be today. Jian Wushuang came to provoke as soon as he joined the group, which was too unreasonable. Even if King Tamu is here, Mrs. Poison is always the one who is unreasonable. What's more, Jian Wushuang now has 600,000 divine powers, much stronger than Mrs. Poison. Strength is the truth. Brother Tyrant doesn't need to say more. I just looked at the old witch who came to find the fault, and I was going to my maid when he came up. Isn't it slapping Hu in the face? Jian Wushuang's breath was shocked again. His face was hideous. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of The Beautiful Wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5826. The eye of the candle dragon is even more shining. Really want to do it, he can seriously hurt the opponent in 3 strokes. Seeing that Mrs. Poison couldn't find any advantage, she gave a cold snort and could only leave. But she couldn't swallow this breath, and just before leaving she turned her head back to spit out the venom. The facing direction is exactly where Jin Chen is. An emperor that can bear such venom. As long as there is a trace, there is no hope of survival. Jian Wushuang was completely angry this time. Previously it was deliberately furious. This time he was really angry, the wings behind his back shook, and he came to Jin Qin in an instant, raised the arm of the candle dragon, and took the venom instantly. The eye of the candle dragon burst out with a brilliant light, completely whitewashing the venom. Old witch, if you let you leave this cave mansion vertically today, I, Hu Biao, will judge myself. Jian Wushuang yelled, clenched his fists and lifted his toes off the ground, and rushed out. Mrs. Poison is fine with a little trick, facing Jian Wushuang head-on, without any advantage at all. Can only hide. Jian Wushuang was in speed and hadn't encountered an opponent yet. Just as Mrs. Poison dodged to hide, he predicted the opponent's movement and kicked the opponent fiercely in the face. Let the opponent rush out of the cave in a horizontal posture. The face touched the ground, and kept marking 100 miles before stopping. Jian Wushuang walked to the entrance of the cave and had to do it. But he was stopped by domineering, and kept persuading him, "Brother Hu, don't do it, this lady has a relationship with King Sangmo and can't kill him." Li Sheng and others reacted at this time, and they hurriedly stepped forward to persuade them. "Now that I have just settled down, don't make trouble." Jian Wushuang really wanted to follow him and beat him again. He can't beat others, and he can't beat a snake. It happened that the other party's snake Gaul came to drink. After standing at the entrance of the cave and letting out a few ruthless words, it was considered to be relieved. Mrs. Poison also took the opportunity to slip away. After returning to the cave mansion, Ba Bo Ben also followed. "Brother Hu, what you hide is so deep, with such supernatural power, you can definitely rank second in the law protector, much stronger than that old lady." Jian Wushuang restabilized his divine power to 550,000. Hearing that this strength was only second, he was a little puzzled. Could the divine power of the whale shark protector exceed 600,000? The guardian of the whale shark ranks first in the guardian of Weilong Mountain. Rumor has it that the other party and King Tianmu are powerful people who agree with the times. Although they are just protectors, they are in aloof position and rarely go out. Strength is extremely powerful. Has been able to match the 5 tribulations realm. Ba Borun lowered his voice and explained. The normal divine power of the whale shark guardian is 630,000. Although he has not seen his body, according to many people's speculations, the full strength of the whale shark guardian may reach 700,000. 700,000! The sword has no double-sided dithering. Not only him, but also Li Sheng and others standing next to each other looked at each other. The divine power of 700,000 is already the divine power of the 5 tribulations realm powerhouse. Even if the Lord of the 4 tribulations realm cosmos is in his own universe, it is difficult for him to explode such a divine power. A wild beast unexpectedly has such a powerful divine power, absolutely has an unspeakable secret. I also wrote down this number in my heart. Brother Hu, blame your brother for the broken words. This time you offended that lady, you have to be careful in the future. There is also a French King Sangmo behind her, who was the former dragon from Weilong Mountain, but he is not in Weilong now. Mountain, I heard that I went to the East Bank to lay eggs. I should not be able to come back for a while, but you should also pay attention. Jian Wushuang nodded, and after thanking the other party for his kindness, he also noticed that there was something to be said about Ba Dan Ben, and he didn't mean to interrupt. Originally, I was planning to visit again after some time. Who would have thought that the lady suddenly provokes Brother Hu? Then I will take this opportunity to tell you something. Ba Bobbin made some preparations and continued. There are 3 Dharma kings in this Weilong Mountain. Except for Sang Mo, you have seen the remaining 2. There are 9 guardians. Except for the whale shark guardian, most of the other guardians follow the 3 kings. You may not know this. Only then did Jian Wushuang understand that the other party was pulling him into the hill. Casually pretending to be confused, in addition to Lord Sangmo, there are also Lord Mobat and Lord Thousand Phases. I don't know if Brother Tyrant sits down with that lord. I am dissatisfied with my brother. I am now under the Man of Bat King. Ba Bo Ben continued, I am here this time, and I want to let my brother join the man of Bat King. Don't worry, the treasures you need, as long as they appear, we will work together. Help you find, the share you turn in can also drop, so that you can gather the treasures you need faster. Only then did Jian Wushuang understand the benefits of joining this small mountainhead. In Weilong Mountain, if a group is dispatched to compete for treasures, most of them have to be handed in. Only a small part can be left. If you take refuge in the man of Bat King, you can turn in a little less in the future. Everyone can hug together. Where there are strong ones, there will be fights. Even after entering Weilong Mountain, there are all kinds of small hills. If you want to mix well, you have to stand in line early. He offended Madame Poison this time, which is equivalent to saying that he had offended Lord Sangmo. There are only two options left. The strength of King Thousand Phases was actually the strongest in his opinion, and King Bat was a bit weak. It may be similar to which whale shark guardian. If you let him choose, he must choose the strong one. But he didn't know each other. It was the Bat King who threw an olive branch to him first, and there was also the Refer Boskrun. It is the most suitable mountain for him. After a short pause, he directly agreed. Ba Bobbin laughed when he heard the words, "Brother who is really happy." He likes Jian Wushuang's cheerful tone, without any muddle-headedness. The simpler things are, the better they won't be bothersome. Anyway, Jian Wushuang is getting more and more pleasing to the eye. Jian Wushuang smiled awkwardly, chatted with each other for a while, and Ba Bo Ben bid farewell to leave. After everything was done, I was finally relieved. But Weilongshen has a lot of things. The desolate beast is not like the human race. Faced with powerful forces, fear, even if the lone wild beast in the mountains encounters the wild beast of Weilong Mountain, how to shoot it or how to shoot it. There are fights almost every day. In the days that followed, he couldn't be idle anymore. Not only to find Wu Li, but also to take someone out to grab the site. After a little rectification, everyone was able to retreat for the first time for a day. Each regained some energy. Jian Wushuang calculated the current manpower. Only Li Xing can see it. The rest are hopeless. And he had to let Li Xing protect Jinqin. He might not be able to wipe it away. After 3 days of rest, Ba Bo Ben came back again. Within the sphere of influence of Mount Weilong, 2 unfamiliar special beings in the Four Tribulations realm appeared, not only vying for treasures with the strong from Mount Weilong, but also killing many strong from Mount Weilong. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of the beautiful wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5827. How can this kind of thing be tolerated? The Mobat King, Dang, even arranged for Ba Ran and Jian Wushuang to set off together to intercept and kill each other. They also brought their own people. Jian Wushuang didn't worry about letting Jin Qin and the others stay in Weilong Mountain, and they brought them with them. It's just that his subordinates haven't recruited the desolate beast powerhouse yet. It seems a bit monotonous. Fortunately, there are a lot of underlings. There are more than a dozen desolate beasts at the Four Tribulations realm level. And the divine power is around 450,000. It can be regarded as an elite in the Four Tribulations realm. Set off. Jian Wushuang and Ba Bo rushed along with hundreds of wild beast powerhouses and directly killed the area where the accident occurred. After they left, somewhere on the peak of Weilong Mountain, a barren beast with a blue skin and grin walked out of the cave. Hu Biao. His eyes were extremely sharp. He is the first protector of Weilong Mountain, the Whale Shark King. Although it is the Four Tribulations realm, he dares to claim the king. The strength can be imagined. Able to fight against the king without losing the wind. Especially fighting against the weakest Mephit king, it is even more able to stand up. It's just that he doesn't win over the top of the mountain, he has been practicing alone. Now he is interested in Jian Wushuang. He stood outside the cave, but another person walked out of the cave. It was the magic bat. Brother Whale Shark, Hu Biao, I think it's reliable, our plan can let him join. The Mobat King's 5 Tribulations Realm powerhouse, although the combat power is equivalent to that of the Whale Shark King, is still the 5 Tribulations Realm anyway, but he is very polite to the Whale Shark King, and the two seem to be planning something. The Whale Shark King did not turn his head, his eyes were deep, and after a long period of thought, he said, "Wait a minute, that matter is not anxious. The practitioner who entered is very weak. Even if he discovers our secrets, it is nothing. He a human monk, can we break our plan?" I was worrying too much. The Mobat King smiled awkwardly and didn't say anything. Besides, Jian Wushuang, who had already set off, had better luck. In a valley in a mountain range, they discovered the 2 strange 4 Tribulation Realm special beings who had killed the strong man of Weilong Mountain. And it happened to be blocked by them. Thanks Tusk, 2 things that don't know how to live or die, dare to come to Weilong Mountain to make trouble, give me all of them. Ba Bo Ben waved, and several 4 Tribulation Realm powerhouses took action. Don't give the other party a chance to speak at all. If you can do it, you can talk less. If you talk too much, the other party may not convince you, but as long as you have enough fists, you can beat the other party to convince you. Or let the other party die. The opponents are just 2 ordinary 4 Tribulations Realm, and they don't need him and Jian Wushuang to act in person. But Jian Wushuang felt that these 2 wild beasts were not simple. "Brother Ba, be careful, I think something is wrong." Jian Wushuang looked around, feeling a little too quiet. The other 2 wild beasts were also very calm, and they didn't panic at all when they faced multiple enemies. Ba Robin also reacted at this time, although he did not feel that there was an ambush by the strong, but he could see the strangeness of this place. It's too quiet. Moreover, the 2 special beings in the 4 Tribulations Realm did not panic at all, but a triumphant expression appeared on their faces. "Quickly come back." Jian Wu's double-faced color sank, and quickly reminded loudly. "It's a pity it's too late." 6 desolate beasts of the 4 Tribulations Realm, just when they approached the 2 special beings, a giant net fell in the sky. Look back at the back. I don't know when 9 special beings from the 4 Tribulations Realm appeared. The special being that took the lead was silver in color and perfect in structure. It was a unique special being. Divine power is extremely terrifying. The rest of the special beings also have a divine power of about 500,000. They were calculated this time. Jian Wushuang secretly said something bad, and quickly transmitted a voice message to Li Sheng, asking him to protect himself. "It's you." Ba Bo Ben turned around, ignoring the subordinates trapped by the giant net, but looking at the silver special being who took the lead. The silver special life, the eye circles are all black, and the mouth full of fangs leaks out when the mouth is opened. "Fishhead," I said, "I will be back, how about I did it?" Ba Bobbin clenched his fists and the corners of his eyes throbbed. He and each other do know each other. And am still acquainted. The former brothers. The turn of life. Such a pity. Because of the disagreement of one thing, the 2 took a different path. Jian Wushuang also saw that the relationship between the 2 was unusual, so he didn't make a move for the time being. But he could see that the other party was not good. "Since I'm back, that's good," Ba Bo Ben said indifferently. The silver special life waved his hand, pointed at his subordinates and said, "How about these subordinates of mine? The strength is okay." "Yes, they are all powerful." Ba Bo Ben knew what the other party meant, just to prove that he was on the right path and that he was doing well. "Oh good brother, it's been a long time since I saw you." Silver Special Life walked forward alone. Ba Bo Ben was unmoved, his voice suddenly changed, and he said, "Master is dead, and his wife is not there anymore. You shouldn't be back. It seems that you still don't welcome me." The Silver Special Life stopped. Jian Wushuang was a little confused. This also involves the grievances of 2 generations, which he did not expect. Ba Bo rushed towards Jian Wushuang with a wry smile, and said, "Brother who just laughed, this is my brother, Pang Yun." Jian Wushuang just nodded, did not speak. Since it was someone else's personal grievances, he had better not interfere. Pang Yun hooked his finger and greeted one of his subordinates. He took out a box from his subordinates, opened the lid and ordered, "I have nothing else to do when I come back this time. I heard that you have a treasure land on Weilong Mountain. Planting this as dead grass is as simple as that. Junior brother will not refuse it. Dead grass? Jian Wushuang had heard of this kind of treasure for the first time. I didn't care. But Ba Bobin shook his head and said in a low voice, "Brother, you can't threaten me now, and I won't do anything for you." Pang Yun was stunned for a moment, and then couldn't help but laugh out loud. You don't think you are the guardian of Weilong Mountain, so you forget who you are? He pointed to the bully running, smiled and sank, and then shouted in a low voice, "Don't forget, you killed the master, you betrayed the master, you won't be able to wash it all your life." Everyone was taken aback when they heard such a breaking news. Jian Wushuang didn't expect that looking at the honest-faced Boskrun, he would actually have done something to deceive his master and destroy the door. People shouldn't be in appearance. The same applies to desolate beasts. But he didn't think it was that simple, and he didn't make a final conclusion. Just waiting for the development of things. This hat is not good for deceiving the teacher and destroying the door. Once it spreads out, I am afraid that Weilong Mountain will drive out the tyrants. The world of wild beasts, although chaotic, but respecting the teacher and respecting the way is more strict than the human race. Dear, click in, give a good comment. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that the new full marks are found at the end of The Beautiful Wife. The new revision and upgrade address of the mobile station, https:// data and bookmarks are synchronized with the computer station, and fresh reading without ads. Chapter 5828. Wandao Sword Sovereign. If you don't respect your teacher, you will be looked down upon everywhere. If the matter of tyrant running is true, don't mix up after that. Everyone in Weilong Mountain was waiting for Ba Dawn's explanation, and Jian Wushuang also adjusted his breathing, as if listening to the story. Don't blame me for the death of the master. Ba Bobin shook his head, his aura began to soar, and his body began to grow bigger. This is to transform into the body. Master! Ba Bobin turned grimace, and then shouted, Master said, Master's death has nothing to do with me. Ben Boba completely transformed into his body, and his divine power soared to 550,000. Shaking his huge head, he rushed directly to his senior brother Pang Yun. You are the real culprit who killed the master. The rushing voice rang loudly. At this time, Pang Yun waved his hand to let his subordinates back, and his figure began to rise, transforming into a demon, and with one hand he blocked the huge fish head of tyrannical run. He clenched his fist in the other hand and slammed over it fiercely. The divine power that burst out obviously overwhelmed the tyrants. You beast, today I will tell you that you know the master. Pang Yun seemed to have the righteousness. Two-shot wars are on the verge of breaking out. No one intervened in the fight between Ba Bobin and Pang Yun. But Jian Wushuang could tell that Ba Scrap was not an opponent. But he couldn't take it rashly. Can only stare at Pang Yun's men, stalemate in place. Said it was a fight. In fact, he was beaten unilaterally by domineering. Sooner or later, Ba Bo Ben was killed. No matter what, Jian Wushuang couldn't watch Ba Scrum be killed. So how can he go back for business? Is it true that Pang Yun said that the tyrants run to deceive the master and destroy the ancestors? There is no evidence, too ridiculous. Once there is a crisis, Jian Wushuang will still take action. The battle in the air was fierce. The main body of Ba Rubin is a huge Zero salmon. Rough skin and thick flesh can actually resist beating. He was beaten with a stick of incense, but his supernatural power remained undiminished. Pang Yun is a special being, the darling of all things, and his divine power is extremely tough. Neither of them had a big problem. Pang Yun, in today's battle, I will fight you alive and dead. I will never forget the things that happened before 100,000 era. Ba Bo Ben shook his body, and his divine power actually increased again. Seeing this, Pang Yun was not surprised and said coldly, Finally, I have used the master's ability to teach, then I will let my brother see if you have carried it all these years. The two broke out at the same time. Both reached around 570,000. This time Pang Yun was a little surprised, But he didn't expect the power of Tyrant Run to be equal to him. It was unacceptable for him for a while. But it is still under control, even if it is the same divine power. He is a special life, and his advantage lies in him. The two fought again. But this time, it was really dead. The divine power has risen to the apex, and every collision shakes the earth and the mountains. Jian Wushuang was also extremely surprised. Unexpectedly, the tyrant was hidden deeply. He usually looks like an old and good person, but at this time he has burst out of fighting power that can be ranked in the top 5 in the Law Protector. Perhaps those protectors have unrevealed cards. Once you use your full strength, I am afraid that each will be different. This also made Jian Wushuang awe. To these wild beasts, most cannot be careless. Boom! The two collided again, and Pang Yun was knocked out hundreds of miles by Benboba's fish head, and the divine body began to crack. Pang Yun didn't expect Benboba to hurt him. This made him unacceptable. The rushing bully who had been stepped on the soles of his feet actually hurt him. I want you to die. Pang Yun's hands were sealed, and a huge palm print directly covered the valley. Obviously, the strongest secret method was taken out. At this time, Benboba turned his head and said to everyone, "You hurry up and run, how far you can escape, don't care about me. If you can't hold it, give it to me." Jian Wushuang greeted everyone back. Benboba was extremely confident and said firmly, "This time, I can definitely beat him." After speaking, he rushed to face the huge palm print. Jian Wushuang led everyone to look at the valley, looking at the palm that fell from the sky, a little worried. The power of that palm already has 600,000 supernatural powers. That is, a casual blow of 600,000 supernatural powers. If he uses 4 times the power of the beast god, he can easily break it. 4 times the power of the beast god, his divine power can also burst to 600,000. But Benboba has reached its limit, with only 570,000 supernatural powers. Wanna block? Some are not possible. In case of death under this palm, it is not worth it. You are waiting here, I'll go and see. Jian Wushuang's figure flashed, and he entered the canyon directly. When Benboba found that Jian Wushuang had returned, he didn't say much. He knew that Jian Wushuang had 600,000 divine powers, and there was nothing wrong with resisting this palm. And he can also have 600,000 supernatural powers for a short time. What? Benboba shouted angrily, "Ha!" The divine power soared directly to 600,000. A huge pillar on a sunny day directly broke through the palm print and rushed towards Pang Yun. Impossible! Pang Yun roared unwillingly. But the figure gradually turned into powder in this beam of light. Because of the overdraft of his supernatural power, Benboba changed his shape and fell from the air. Jian Wushuang shook the blow just now, and he reacted very quickly. Stepped forward to catch Benboba. You win! But there were tears in the corner of Benboba's eyes. The master died because of me, the wife left because of me, and the brother died because of me. Seeing the other party's sadness, Jian Wushuang didn't say anything. It was those Pang Yun's subordinates who even dared to step forward at this time. Brothers, this big-headed fish has been seriously injured. It's a desperate opportunity to avenge the Holy Lord. Follow me. Jian Wushuang turned his head just a glance, saying that those special beings who wanted to take advantage of the fire were shocked in place. Roll. He doesn't want to do it now. Otherwise, none of these special beings can escape. After feeling the powerful divine power of Jian Wushuang, those special beings were frightened, their fighting spirit disintegrated in an instant, and they fled in all directions. Give them a way out. Benboba shook his head. The body stood up hard and looked at the destroyed valley, his eyelids drooping. This battle not only worked hard, but also broke the state of mind. But Jian Wushuang, this time he didn't do anything. Watched a good show. Let's go. Benboba recovered some of his supernatural powers, leading everyone back lonely. Although I won, there was no joy. Later on the road, Jian Wushuang learned about their grievances. 100,000 years ago. Because Pang Yun wanted to attack the 4 Tribulations realm, the master of Benboba became his apprentice, looking for a treasure. As a result, he was attacked by a viper and poisoned. Pang Yun also missed the perfect opportunity to break through, and his strength was even worse. Not only did it fail to reach the Four Tribulations realm, but instead fell from the peak of the Three Tribulations realm to the ordinary level of the Three Tribulations realm. If you like Wandao Sword Sovereign, please collect it. Wandao Sword Sovereign has the fastest update speed. Chapter 5829. Wandao Sword Sovereign. Angrily, he left the division. The time when I was out. Benboba is in order to remove the poison of the viper for the master. You can only use your own divine power to wash away the toxins in the master's body. Everything is moving in a good direction. As a result, he failed to get rid of the poison one time, causing his master's disease to recur. Finally fell. At this time, Pang Yun came back. He also became the Four Tribulations realm, and he came back with a lot of treasures to apologize to the master. As a result, the master was gone. The two brothers shirked each other's responsibilities. He didn't want to wear this hat that killed the master. In the end, the two fought. Benboba was naturally not an opponent, and was almost killed by Pang Yun. Fortunately, the teacher came out and stopped Pang Yun. Benboba fled to the Roman River. But because of the death of the master, he couldn't let go, so he worked hard to break through the Four Tribulations realm in one fell swoop. When he went back again, he found Pang Yun to challenge, but he still lost. This time, he was completely crazy. I feel that as long as the strength is not as good as the brother, it is equal to the master who killed him. He has been pestering his wife and asked the other party to testify. As a result, he discovered the adultery between his wife and his brother. He was completely angry and threatened his wife with this incident. The teacher left at last. No one testified to him anymore, and slowly let go. Came back to the Luoman River and joined Weilong Mountain. 30,000 years ago, he met the brother again, and that was the last peaceful dialogue between the two. Pang Yun threatened him to steal treasures from Weilong Mountain. He did. The brother took the treasure and left. In order not to be threatened anymore, he began to practice forbidden arts. That is why he can soar his supernatural power instantly. What is waiting for is today. Prove to yourself and solve the demon. After listening to the whole story, Jian Wushuang didn't make an evaluation, but felt that some things might be destined. There is nothing right or wrong. It's a pity that they are their masters. So much so that when he returned to Weilong Mountain, Jian Wushuang was also thinking about the wild beasts in the world at the bottom of the river. The essence of everything. Everything. Jian Wushuang's eyes were steady. He sat cross-legged on the futon in the Dongfu and closed his eyes. Origin star sky. Everything rises. He has also entered a state of cultivation. What happened this time also caused a lot of noise on Weilong Mountain. Congratulations to Benboba, and some jealous to splash dirty water. But Benboba doesn't seem to care. Still the same as before. It's just that he is inseparable from Jian Wushuang every time. The two of them took their men out to patrol together, or behead some foreign beasts, competing for treasures. Time is constantly passing by. In a blink of an eye, 100 years passed. These days in the mountains at the bottom of the river can be considered leisurely. There is no battle that can threaten lives. Searching for Wu Li didn't stop, but there was no news. Because of this incident, he was going crazy. And there has been no news of the Empress. In 100 years, even the 5-star mission should be completed. Unless you die inside. If he waited any longer, he was about to have feelings for Weilong Mountain. But these days, behind Weilong Mountain, it is not stable. A torrent slowly converged in Weilong Mountain. The whale shark guardian began to slowly appear in every patrol and fight. And many times, together with Jian Wushuang. The two also got acquainted. From Jian Wushuang's point of view, the other party is a deeper person in the city, but getting along with each other can be regarded as kind. This day, the 4 guardians of the law have returned to foreign warfare. The Mobat king personally arranged a banquet and invited the 4 guardians to come together. Whale Shark, Benboba, Jian Wushuang also have an unfamiliar giant catfish guardian. Except for the giant catfish guarding method, The other two Jian Wushuang are very familiar. So there is no rejection. So we went to the cave of the Mobat King to relive the past and relax. Everyone pushed their cups and changed their cups and drank for a full day. They all say that the wild beasts have a wedding, and the city will not deceive me. Jian Wushuang was also very happy. Although I can't find Wu Li now, nor can I wait for the female emperor's news, this time in Weilong Mountain is definitely his happiest time since he came to Guyu time and space. It seems that in Qishan Temple he has never been so relaxed. Looking back at Qi Temple, there was a brutal trial first, and he and Hui Qing crawled out of the dead. Seeing Hui Qing's rise, he also received special care from the real spirit, and gained the pinnacle and unique knowledge that they all envied. Later, when the body was refined and the time spent with Shanjun on the Moyne Mountain, although it was very difficult, it was also happier. Everything started after he was taken away by King White, and he felt more and more pressure. Although King Bai had nothing to say to him, he had never liked the feeling that his fate was being led by others. Later, King White fell in the court of three kings, and his loneliness and despair made him even more shocked. Seeing the success of the old friends, but they can only stand in the distance as if you are here, and the blessings can only be in the bottom of my heart. Fortunately, I saw teacher Xian Yi again later and found my direction. It's definitely not one city, one place. Restore the identity of the inheritor, make trouble in Yuanyang Lake, and design the Avuzwa. In the end, he still lost to the gods. Think of the people in Qi Temple often. He has also grown a lot. No matter where he is, he seems to be able to embark on the right path. The same goes for Guyu time and space. Everything is fighting for a stronger force. The future of Qi Temple still needs him to guard. The secret of teacher Xian Yi's body is still waiting for him to reveal. It's almost always short-lived, and you can't fall into your comfort zone. Weilongshan is now his comfort zone. Especially when I saw Li Sheng teasing a snake girl with a wine glass. Jian Wushuang's face was dark. Maybe in the first few years, everyone was too impressed. After being released for a short time now, all of them have taken Weilong Mountain as their home. It's good here, but you can't forget what they are here for. After 3 rounds of wine, everyone leaned back and forth, lying on the soft animal skins, and began to brag about the results of this time. The lean and short catfish spirit hooked his head and said, "Everyone, this time you beat that centipede. If you didn't stop me, I could tear him up." Just blow it up, but I saw you being beaten by a centipede. Benboba took down the stage at this time. Everyone leaned forward with laughter. The Mobat King was treated equally with them, and he didn't show off because of his strength. On the contrary, the Whale Shark King has always been drunk, not drinking, and has a sad expression on his face. Although Jian Wushuang had been talking freely, he was always paying attention to each other. Want to see what tricks the other party wants to play. Following what the other party said, he said, "Brother Whale Shark, today my brothers are so happy, why are you still so sad? Is it difficult?" Jian Wushuang deliberately pretended to be drunk and then said, "If there is anything, even if you say that everyone is your own, it will not be a problem if you say it. If you like Wandao Sword Sovereign, please collect it. Wandao Sword Sovereign has the fastest update speed." Chapter 5830. Wandao Sword Sovereign. Yeah, let's just say if there is anything. The people who are gathering today are all our own. Brother Whale Shark, if you have anything to say, I can't guarantee anything, brother, but what's going on near Weilong Mountain? Mobat King, he also adjusted his body and asked. Benboba and Catfish Dongzi, drink. The Whale Shark King didn't answer immediately, but picked up the wine glass regardless of everyone, drank it in one gulp, wiped the corner of his mouth and shouted with great joy. After drinking, he pulled his face down, and after a sigh, he glanced at everyone. I feel that the atmosphere has been set off in place, and it can be regarded as a mouthful. Jian Wushuang listened carefully, and a color appeared in the bottom of his eyes when he heard half of it. Suddenly pulled him to reality. It turned out that the Whale Shark King carried Weilong Mountain on his back and enjoyed a blessed land for himself. 100 years ago, an unexpected guest suddenly came to this blessed land. He also set up an enchantment in his blessed land, making him unable to enter again. Although Jian Wushuang entered the group relatively late in hiding the blessed land privately, there are some things that have been heard. I didn't think there was anything wrong. But when I heard that it was taken over 100 years ago, a barrier was also set up. Is a mysterious strong man. 100 years ago. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. This made him want to hit Wu Li. Wu Li disappeared at the bottom of the river 100 years ago. The cause and effect are here, but Wu Li's position cannot be found. He doubted whether the other party had fallen. Now that he heard about the Whale Shark King, which mysterious power he thought might be Wu Li. But after thinking about it, the Whale Shark King's supernatural power of more than 600,000 is even approaching 700,000. He couldn't break the barrier of this mysterious man. In terms of strength, it is not like Wu Li. Wu Li's strength, he knows best. The sky has reached 450,000, which is about the same as Mu Qin. To be able to block the Whale Shark King, the supernatural power is at least 600,000 to 700,000. This is a bit exaggerated. No matter how much Wu Li conceals, it can't be so powerful. It may not be easy for the other party to know the secret Wan Lu opened. No matter what, he must go and see if it is Wu Li. So he didn't wait for the Whale Shark King to finish, so he agreed. The Whale Shark King alone can't break the barrier of nowhere, and now to say it means to let them help. Break the barrier together. Of course there are benefits. You can share the blessed land. If he hadn't been interested in foodie in the past, he would just find Wu Li. But since seeing the terrifying combat power of Surprise King with his own eyes, he felt that it was necessary. Perhaps it is really a rare treasure. It might be of great use to him. What he lacks now is some original treasures, and he hastened to let his original source reach the perfection of the universe. Prepare for the next robbery. Consummation of the universe is almost the 5 tribulations realm. Once he breaks through the tribulation realm, he can survive the 5 tribulations in succession. The consummation of the universe is too powerful. Moreover, his universe contains the power of the stars, and his background is more powerful. The pressure on crossing the robbery will be very small. His own divine power is also strong enough, and the amount of calamity can be settled. The Emperor's efforts will show an advantage in the tribulation realm. The right way is very important. Jian Wushuang was very satisfied with his foundation. When he reaches the Lord of the Universe, it will be another explosion period. Now he has reached the limit level except for his origin, and he can't improve anymore. Since entering Guyu time and space, he has also increased his divine power, and nothing else has changed. This will change after he becomes the master of the universe. Once he became the Lord of the Universe, he would soon be able to return to his hometown. After making an agreement with the Whale Shark King, the 5 of them will set off together. The time is set in half a month. These days they will not go out again. Be prepared. Although he could guess that it was probably Wu Li inside, no one else knew it. I think there is a monster hidden inside. Actually not. The Whale Shark King and the Mobat King obviously know more. Catfish East and Benboba don't know what they are. It is likely to be calculated. These days I get along very well with them, and if he is capable, he will also help. Bring Li Sheng and others back to the cave. Jin Qin has completely adapted to the role of maid now. Seeing Jian Wushuang and Li Sheng coming back, they hurriedly poured tea and water and prepared some flowers and fruits. Li Sheng lay on the stone bed at will, and suddenly said soberly, "Jian Wushuang, you don't really believe what the Whale Shark King said." Jian Wushuang was very pleased when he heard the other person's words. I always think this person is unreliable. It's better to get closer to the Mobat King by then. He promised me that after this success, he will give me that maid. After Jian Wushuang heard the latter sentence, the water he just drank spouted out. Wiping the corners of his mouth, he scolded, patriarchally, "Do you still want to marry a little wife here? You take Weilong Mountain as your home." Even the 2 younger generations of the Li family felt that what the ancestor did was a little shameful at this time. Li Sheng aggrieved. The female emperor has abandoned us. We have to look forward to our days. This has been more than 100 years. Even if her task is to give birth to children, She can give birth to a basket. When will she have to wait? It's ahead. These words made Jean Chen's expression embarrassing, and she was extremely sad when she thought of her mother. In these 100 years, life is like a year. Not because of suffering but because there is something to do every day. Unlike in Vietnam, one retreat at will is a million years. Very casual. This place is Weilong Mountain. Even if Jian Wushuang covers her, there are still things to do. Otherwise it will be suspected. Everyone is like this. Do what you need to do. Don't wait, maybe in half a month we have to leave. Li Xing exclaimed after hearing this, "Is there any news from your majesty?" "No." Jian Wushuang shook his head. "Then where did we go?" Li Xing asked disappointedly. "Go where we should go. Living people can even suffocate urine. Since the Empress didn't contact them, they walked forward on their own. Anyway, it is now the identity of the beast. Maybe others can reach the end faster." When they heard this, they were all silent. In 15 days of free time, he was pondering his origin. Over the past 100 years, he has obtained a lot of original treasures. Almost all of them were picked up for nothing. All the brains were thrown into the original universe. The number of black holes in the universe has also reached 9,900. Just 100 black holes. 10,000 black holes are the limit of the universe. It is also the perfection of the universe. The beginning of 1 yuan. This is also the beginning of the universe. The universe is just a shell. There must be everything in it. Let there be light. Be dark. There must also be life and death. That is the complete universe. But that would have to wait for him to become the master of the universe. Now it is the key to elevate the origin of the universe to consummation first. If you like Wandao Sword Sovereign, please collect it. Wandao Sword Sovereign has the fastest update speed. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.